Hello, everybody. Let's run it back. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 125 of Hype and Then Some.
Yo,
we are back in the building. Hello. It's been a very busy fortnight for us. We have been up and down, round and round, celebrating love and life and lots of things. So
I've seen so many places.
I'm in so many places, but nothing compares to those hills. Facts. Rest in peace to my guy.
Yeah, shout out to D12.
Yeah. What's the guy's name that died?
You are asking the wrong person. Look, you're about to say
Proctor,
Proctor, innit?
the one that Eminem was really sad about.
Isn't Prague from...
No, Proctor's from...
No, Prague is from...
Prague is a place, Toby.
Proof.
Yeah,
Rest in peace to Proof, man.
I told you, it's close.
I said Prague. Close enough, though.
Yeah, it's close.
Close enough. Shout out Proof.
Toby named a country.
Proof is in the pudding.
Isn't Prague a city?
Yes.
You tell me, Toby.
Yeah,
It is.
Check on your laptop.
In what country?
I'm trying to say Russia.
It's Czech Republic, man. Come on, let's get started with today's episode.
I was about to say Morocco.
Blood fuck. Let's get started with today's episode.
Geography is not always that simple, you know.
Come on,
what is
man.
mad, yeah? What is mad is that you can clearly see I am not a man that travels too much.
Oh, yeah, we're not well travelled. But, you know, it is what
I
it
wish
is.
I was, though. I wish I was.
I do wish I was well traveled, but that shouldn't stop us from reading our books, guys.
Come on, man. When's the last time you read your books?
It was a long time ago, but let me tell you what I know. I know that Prague is in Czech Republic. Let's get straight into introductions. I am Kesi, aka K's Boogie in the kit. What do you do?
And there's a guy that doesn't know where Prague is. Mr. Street, but shabby teeth, you're damn well nasty.
Yay.
And it's Mr. MBT, world boss. I'm drinking sparkling water today.
Do you think it's fair for you to call yourself well boss if you don't know where Prague is?
Oh, damn.
Let me tell you something here.
It's a challenge.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The Queen, or rest in peace, London Bridge is falling down. You know what I mean?
It's fallen.
Yeah, it already fell.
Low.
Yeah, and guess what? Tower Bridge soon be falling down as well. You know what I mean?
Who's Tower Bridge?
I don't know, but if that's code for something that is getting close to treason, I'm
exactly. I'm sorry, Cyrus Bean.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that it's very easy for someone to sit in their high horse and be able to navigate a whole country and navigate other countries as well. King Charles, you know who I'm talking about.
King Charles.
Yeah, man.
None of this is making sense, but that's fine. Correlation like this, passing ships.
Spaghetti Junction. What the heck are you talking
you.
about?
I'm gonna tell you.
This guy went inside, outside, shaking all around. You know,
Man said, think about it. Life is wet. Wet is water.
I was gonna take it a bit too far.
Fire.
Yeah, it's good. Anyway, it's good that you reeled yourself back in. What is good, everybody? We are back. Happy to be here, back in the building, as you know, and we're just gonna go straight into it. Okay?
Yes, indeed.
Is there anything that we need to say ahead of time? Okay,
Yeah,
actually, I do have a couple of things. Number one, happy birthday to our very own Pre-Terry.
Yes.
By the
Yeah,
time that
man.
this is live, she would have already turned the ripe age of 25.
Yeah.
Shout out you and welcome to
Welcome to adulthood.
the new age.
The next phase of your life.
Time to start paying for stuff yourself.
And guess what?
Big
Something else I want to announce is
Sorry. I'm still going. I have another announcement to make. A big shout out to MBT in the building. By the time this episode would be live, he would have completed his London half marathon.
Lips all dry.
Nice, man. Yeah, man, 100%.
Lips dry. Don't worry, I'm gonna have Livia waiting.
Very much so.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm contemplating whether I'm gonna hold a water bottle in the first few minutes of the run.
Why you get the ones that you're holding their hands like this?
It's uncomfortable.
The ones that you're holding.
I don't like running with stuff. It feels so uncomfortable.
So how many miles is or kilometers is in a half marathon?
It's 13 miles.
And how many kilometers?
22.
So roughly, if you did about 10 kilometers without water, would you be all right?
Yeah.
So then maybe we should just be at the halfway mark, ready to give you water.
Maybe.
Back it and then go on your way.
Yeah, maybe.
Electrolytes
with
and them
some
things
lemons
there.
and that,
Yeah.
or with the bananas.
Yeah, probably
Bananas,
bananas.
for potassium.
Yeah.
Yup.
Hopefully I don't need to poo.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, congratulations in advance because we know that he's going to kill it. And by the time this episode is live, he would have been killed. It would have been old news.
With the time he goes through one tub of Vaseline at the end of the race.
Yeah.
More news is that we all need to be very careful with the way the world is going right now.
Why?
Because Putin is trying to get us
again.
Yes, man.
Come on, man.
Yes. I don't know if you've heard, because I spoke to Kesi about this briefly. So Putin, what he's trying to do, he's trying to gather a whole other bunch of nations together, and they're trying to bring the gold standard back.
USSR.
Yes. What are you talking about? USSR?
That's what Russia used to essentially be, just a bunch of
No,
nations.
because
USSR.
he's trying to bring like China and all these people into the fold now.
Basically,
to
like
do
an
with the money.
EU, but for a bunch of other different countries.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And what they're trying to do is, because they manage a whole bunch of oil, which obviously gets circumnavigated around the world.
Circumnavigated.
Yes. What they're trying to do is they're trying to bring the gold standard back, which means oil at the moment gets paid with dollars. Yeah. What they're trying to do is they're trying to make sure that oil is now paid with gold.
Can we follow up on this when we get to
News.
It
that
is
particular part?
main news right now.
But there's a
Headlines.
time where I feel
This
like
is
it would be
prime
more relevant.
news.
Anyway, guys,
There's
this wasn't
something else
supposed to be news. This was
Yeah.
just quick announcements. Okay.
Prime news. Are you kidding me?
Why? So because we have to all run scared and
Mate.
start making our thoughts.
Now's not the time. Now's not the time.
Mate,
okay.
when you have to
I
pay
was
for
just trying to
petrol,
do
gold bars,
congratulations
let
and
me tell
announcements.
me what you're going to do now.
Let me tell you, yeah, when you're at a wedding and the MC says, "Can Mercedes
That's what he
FG?"
just
Do
did.
they make time to talk about Putin and the gold standard?
That's what he just
No.
did. He just cut
You know
it.
what's mad?
God damn.
Was the guy that they they spoke about his call sign. He had to jump out of his seat.
The groomsman.
Speaking
Yeah, man.
of groomsmen, congratulations to our beloved
Yes.
Ennie and Eddie. We
Love ya.
celebrated in 2 parts over the last week. Eddie Io 23, big shout out to you, man.
Yeah, man.
Lots of love for your new union.
Yeah,
that
man.
was kind of where I wanted the announcements to end.
Putin.
So
Let's go.
let us swiftly move on to you know it's your love it. It's your ever favorite table trainers.
Trainers table.
Fantastic. Today, okay, we are going to be talking about a particular trainer, okay?
Yeah, man.
Before I get into the details, if you are listening, it will do you well to come on down to YouTube Town, where you can see these trainers in a what?
In a real life.
However, if you cannot make it down to YouTube Town, that's very well and good.
That's a shame.
That's okay. It's all right. Don't worry about it. I will describe it as I always do. Okay. To the right of us, we have, thank you, Tobi. This is, to be fair, this is a Vomero table. Okay, let's start with that. But this specifically is the Nike Vomero, I would say in the Vault colorway.
Yeah.
It's the Vault colorway. This is Tobi's pair. Tobi, come on down to your mic and tell us a bit more about this shoe.
You may have noticed I may not have brought it close to the camera. This shoe has been through a lot. This has run forest, jump. This shoe has done a lot of miles. This is a gym shoe now. Probably the most comfortable shoe I own, to be honest.
Really?
Yes. The Vomero 5 is easily probably one of the most comfortable shoes Nike have brought out. Behind I'll probably say the Sock Fly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably say behind the Sock Fly. But
What about the, what's it called? What's the one that we both had? That yours had a
Vapor
hole in
Max.
it.
Vapor Max.
The green one. It
Green.
was like turquoise.
Rocheron.
Yeah, the Rocher one. The
God
Rocher
forbid.
ones are more comfortable than that.
God forbid, I hate Roshi ones. Because of that was that toe box area that squeezed into the side of your foot.
Boy, I didn't have that problem.
I had that
Mine
issue.
was fine.
It was nice.
But
This shoe,
I didn't have that problem.
this shoe, no, I have no issues with this shoe.
No, it's a very comfortable
It's a
trainer.
beautiful shoe. We got this in the outlet back then.
In lockdown.
Yeah, so this was
Was it
during.
lockdown?
This was the lockdown trainer.
I thought
Wow,
it was
it's a
longer than that.
lockdown
It
It's the
shoe.
lockdown. Yep, 2020. That's when we got
Wow.
Oh.
How much did you get it for?
the shoe. Like £40. It
Wow.
was a lockdown trainer.
So why does this look older? I was
No, but
thinking
the
it might have
thing
been
is-
like 10 years now.
No, but we use this trainer for everything.
Yeah, it has been for a lot. It's been off-road and on-road.
Yeah,
This shoe
literally.
has been in the gym, outside the gym, hikes, everything.
Yeah, long distance walking and running.
I really do like the colorway. It reminds me of watermelon.
Watermelon.
Green
Yeah, I
and
get
pink.
it. Has it got a has
Green
it got
and pink.
on
Yeah,
it?
it's got pink on the top.
I get
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah, it's cute.
I guess.
Sorry.
I guess.
I said I guess.
I like it. Moving on. To the left of us, we have... This is also a Nike Vomero 5, but this is MBT's pair. This is the blue colorway.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has a particular name.
I
That
don't
box
even
is
know, man.
long
That
gun,
box is
so I can't
gun
tell
lit.
you. But MBT, do you want to tell us about this pair?
Yeah, man. This used to before the 990 V5s came into play. This used to be my everyday trainer.
Yeah, that was
Yep.
right.
Became a gym trainer. Became an everyday trainer. Now I just wear these trainers to go to the style.
To the style.
To that style.
But yeah, man. These are a great trainer.
Yep.
They were initially a performance trainer. That's what the Vomeros were.
When you say performance, what does that mean?
Performance like running and all that type. It's
Got
like
you.
a fitness trainer.
So
Got you.
if I'm correct, I mean, I think it was named after Bill Bauman.
Really?
Yes, I'm not sure exactly what he did with the shoe, but his face is inside the shoe, so
Oh, really?
there must have been something that he did.
But these, so basically, actually, once we get to the next one, because the next one's a newer release, these are like the older Vomero 5s. So we got these in 2020. They were actually released prior to that. It's just that we were able to, it became an outlet price. So we got the trainers then.
Yeah.
But the Vomero trainer actually released in 2006.
2011.
Really? No, the Vomero Plus
released,
Plus, yeah. So the Vomero line initially released in 2006.
Okay.
Like I said, it's actually a performance trainer. So it's supposed to be comfortable for running. You're supposed to be using it for fitness in general.
Yeah.
And then the Vomero 5s released in 2010 initially. And then they now started releasing trainers. Then there was a stint for a bit. And now this is where this new one comes into play.
Interesting.
Because I think this is the year of the Vomero.
Probably.
I think so too. I definitely feel like Nike have noticed that this is a GR trainer that is actually cool and is respected in hype culture, and they're taking it for a ride. I definitely feel like that's what's happening. With that, we can segue onto the pedestal today.
Finally, it's been a long time.
Yeah. The thing is,
It deserves it?
Yeah, no, it deserves it. I really like this trainer. It's just that I can't get myself to buy it.
Right.
I like the fact that you actually you saved this tiddly for things that you actually like.
Yeah.
So it's like you give your nod to.
It's not just for everything.
I don't say it to everything.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I don't open my eyes for everything.
You used to.
So this is the Vomero 5s in the oatmeal colorway.
Yes.
Tobi, you want to take it to the floor? So this is you can put this one closer, really. This one is
this trainer's cold.
Do you know what? I'm actually not a massive fan. I can appreciate it for what it is, but I would struggle to wear it, I think, just because of the color. I don't know if I like the fact that it's this color all over. You know me, I like a bit of contrast. So I think I would have appreciated a different color on the top with the contrast of the sail at the bottom. But they are a nice pair, and I saw you wearing them the other day, and I quite like them. I think they're cool. So
that outfit was nice.
Thank you.
Very
you.
Tobi, do you want to talk about your pair?
I think this is a well executed colorway.
Yeah,
we did say when it was released, didn't we?
Even before this one, because obviously Tossin's got the other colorway.
This is the grey.
It's like grey with the green, like the khaki green. That one's cold.
Two really well executed colorways.
What about? Do you like the black one with the
all black?
Yeah, no, it's
black. And it's got white.
No,
with like dark grey.
No,
it was white.
It's black and suede. It's black suede, and it's got
suede?
and it's got
It's black. That black pair is black suede.
Yeah, it's black suede.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, go on the Nike app and you'll see.
That changes everything.
But the thing is, like I said, this is the year of the Vomero. I feel like Nike has released this trainer, not this one. Nike has released this trainer as a way to it's black.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was suede.
Yeah, that's suede.
I shouldn't be accepting those damn cookies. Sorry, baby.
That's not nice.
Yeah, I don't think it's nice.
Yeah, it's sweet. I like it. I like it. But and they released that one as well. This brown one, the brown with the orange.
I'm not a fan.
But
that's not nice.
I've actually seen someone wear them and they look very cold.
I'm not a fan.
But I think I saw someone say this. I believe this is to combat the New Balance 990 V5s.
I definitely feel like they're trying to re-enter themselves into the comfort realm. Yeah. And this is I think it's a good way to do it. I actually do think of all the trainers that they could have brought back as their GR, but like not quite GR trainer, it's this one. Speaking of, today, a couple of people entered, well, I guess not a raffle, but got the opportunity to buy the Vomero 5
It wasn't
metallic.
Even a raffle, man.
It wasn't.
We walked into it.
Grabbed it, got out.
I basically walked into the store and stood there for time to look at the trainer, held it in my hand.
Took a minute.
Put it on took it to the cashier, said no, put it back on the shelf, took it back to the cashier and said, let me buy it.
Yeah, it was this one, the Vomero 5, the Photon Dust and Metallic Silver. Oh, you got them as well? Yeah. Okay, great.
Twice.
It actually was a women's shoe. That doesn't stop anybody, apparently. So that's that.
It's one of those ones where when you walk into an argument very heated and it's just a really relaxed argument. Is that all that heat was for no reason?
Yeah, for no reason. But the thing is, I feel like this is going to be a very understated trainer. And what is going to happen is that y'all...
You're going to see it once.
You're going to see it once and you're going to be like, damn!
It happened with this though.
Yeah.
When this first came out, it sat. And then I remember when I went to look back 2 weeks ago, I couldn't find my size anywhere.
Really?
I was very lucky to find this pop up on size. It's the only size that I found there.
Man.
Everywhere else has
Interesting.
disappeared.
I
I'm not
get
going
it,
to tell you
though.
this one website that I found that has it everywhere. Yes, I'm gatekeeping. Yes, I'm sorry.
We
I need
just
to.
spoke about
yes,
this.
I'm sorry. I need to.
But you've got the pair already.
Until I don't.
Toby.
Yeah, because
Until
You
I
are
don't.
the ick that we
Yes,
spoke
thank you.
about. Is
That's
the
my-
ick in
that's
this
the one
room
thing,
today?
That's the one thing I'm going to carry the ick with, because this one website, you guys have not ruined just yet. I'm sorry. Give it some time. I beg you.
Right.
Do you know what?
Anyway.
I just need those A6 Johns, the black ones.
Anyway, with that brings us to the end of a very Romero focused
Yeah,
tables
man.
trainers.
Trainers table.
Over to you, MBT.
Yes, guys. So every single week, not every single week, bi-weekly,
Every other week.
bi-weekly, we come with the latest news about music, fashion, music, and what's popping in the culture.
Per.
So the first thing on the list is Cortez Air Max 95.
Before, okay, let's do that then. Let's
Yes,
do that.
The
Yeah, yeah.
Cortez Air Max 95 was released in New York, and it was the purple colorway, as we said in our last episode. No, it wasn't.
It was released in New York, and then it was also released on the Cortez website, and then on sneakers the following day.
That doesn't make any
Worldwide.
sense. So that means I feel,
Not worldwide, EMEA.
just
only.
yeah.
Oh, serious?
So I feel like that's gonna happen with all their releases then.
So wait, it didn't come out in the US?
Yeah, because remember they did the bodega.
No,
what
it
are
only
sneakers?
came out in New York, but then everywhere else it was literally Europe, Middle East, and Africa only.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
But they did it in the bodega.
Bodega.
Yeah, man. They did it in the bodega.
No, you don't
Yeah.
pronounce the G's. Bodega.
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 Yeah, a big shout out to. It was always gonna sell out anyway, but
Yeah.
that was the pink tings, and now we've got the blue tings
Yeah.
coming up. But oh no, we can talk about that now. So the pictures have been released now.
Yeah.
I'll put a picture up of the
The blue pair.
the blue pair of the Air Max 95. Based on the fact that the pink ones came out in New York and the green ones were a London exclusive, I guess the next thing to assume is that the ones coming up will be a regional exclusive only before going out to sneakers and the websites of
Look.
the likes.
Unless it is just purely a regional exclusive. But then again, the green ones
It
were
could
purely
be.
a regional exclusive.
They
didn't
were
come
a
out
regional
sneakers.
exclusive. They didn't go out on sneakers.
Yeah. Wow.
Really?
So yeah, they didn't. So
Shocking,
it
man.
it only went out on the Cortez website on that one day, and then New York, that was the only that colorway was the one that went out on sneakers.
Or maybe,
Okay.
maybe this would just be a general global release.
Oh, darn,
Maybe
man.
we don't know
That's
if
too
it is.
much.
Well,
That's a
we'll
lot
see.
of pairs.
yeah, we'll see.
That's a
Big
lot
shout
of
out to them.
pairs.
Do you know something that I've realized? Because obviously now that Clint is out there in New York shaking hands and making a name for himself, even
Connections.
more so,
Rock
yeah.
Nation branch coming very soon.
Oh my God, he's definitely going to be there.
That's already
Guaranteed.
happened.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be there. But I think, yeah.
They already happened this
Yeah,
year.
the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But he'll be at like one of them things. Anyway, something that I've noticed actually, you know, like the People Gallery, shout out the People Gallery,
Yeah.
and like those sort of videos where they stop people on the streets, talk to them, whatever. Whenever Clint is talking about Cortez, he never says Cortez. He always says CRTZ. And I realized that copyright really
Yeah, man.
grabbed him like
chokehold,
that.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So when he's talking about it, he's like, oh yeah, this is CRTZ, this is CRTZ. So is that what we're supposed to be calling it now?
Well, then
But
again,
that's a bit mad, though.
on the Nike Live, he did clarify how to say it correctly.
How?
So it's Cortez.
Cortez?
Yeah.
Come on, man. I just
Cortez.
got used to
But-
Cortez.
No, but I was always calling it Cortez.
I've been saying Cortez.
Yes, Cortez.
I've been saying like Cortez. A bit of an accent.
No, don't even try that.
Cortez.
Anyway,
Cortez.
next
Am I
thing
wrong? Am I wrong?
on
It might
the
be that way.
list, following on from Clint.
Per.
Now, Cortez. Yes.
Oh, Cortez.
Cortez.
We don't know.
Well, it's Cortez.
Because
So,
arbitrators.
you know what? I'm just going to say Clint, Will, shout out to Will.
Yes.
And Tinker Hatfield did an interview. What was you going to say? Because you was about to open your mouth. You
No,
stopped
nothing.
me.
No, nothing. I didn't stop you.
You went like,
Yeah, go on.
no, you've messed up my flow now.
A big congratulations to Will Stowe for killing this conversation. And actually, I feel like what I was going to say is, I know like we talk about the culture.
So you was going to say something?
Yeah, once you were finished.
You opened your
Yo,
mouth.
what's going
You
on today?
You messed up my flow.
Anyway, when we talk about the culture and when we talk about like, the big things are good. This genuinely was something for the culture. And I feel like Will was the perfect person to facilitate such
Yep.
a massive conversation. I think Clint is obviously doing great things and Cortez or CRTZ is doing amazing things for the London culture and obviously globally from an independent underdog type brand that's going global. I think he's doing amazing. But as far as bridging the gap and bridging the conversation between himself and Tinker Hatfield, I don't think there could have been anyone better to do it than Will.
100%.
And I feel like he did it extremely well. So a big shout out to Will Stowe.
Yeah, man.
I thought it was cold. Thought it was great. It was nice.
The conversation was good. It flowed. There was and Clint actually basically had a lot of input. I felt like he was just going to sit there.
I was expecting him to be a more...
very reserved, very like... No, I genuinely was expecting that because you don't really see him do that many interviews.
He doesn't.
He
doesn't.
But for the fact that he did something like that, I don't think he would have just sat there.
You're not going to be stush in front of Tinker Hatfield.
There's people that have done that.
Yeah, but if you do that, then you snooze, you actually lose.
I think... Because obviously, looking at his persona and how he is as a person, he naturally gives off that type of vibe.
Yeah.
But I think it's to... anyway, let me know even, because if I do, I'll just badmouth the person.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, don't worry. But in that situation where he's on live TV, like you can't just sit there, because obviously I believe it would have ruined his brand if he did that.
For sure.
I think so.
For sure.
I think
can't
so.
do that.
One thing that I really enjoyed is that when he was talking about his brand,
Yeah.
you can see that he really, really is like about his brand.
Yeah.
He's not here to play games. He sees his brand. He sees where his brand is going. He understands that he's not where he wants to be just yet.
Yeah.
He understands there's so much more that he needs to do. And because everyone, I feel personally, a lot of people probably looking at his brand and saying that it's almost at its ceiling, but the way he talks about the brand, it's like he's not even reached.
He hasn't scratched the surface.
Yeah.
Not at all. Like he's got so much more to come from it, and I like that kind of passion, because it's like it's someone that's just like not here just for the money. It's someone that's here about what he's actually putting out there. And he actually cares about what he's putting out
he's
there.
got a mission, innit?
Yeah. So, speaking of Cortez, what predictions do you guys have for the brand? Like, let's say in the next year. Where do you see Cortez in the next year?
I think he'll still be on an upwards trajectory. That's what I got to really say. Because I don't...
Do you anticipate any like collaborations, any like specific drops?
Not really, because I'm not into Cortez like that. I'm not into his brand. I appreciate what he's doing. I love what he's doing. It's definitely his time. He's definitely capitalized on like this, whatever's going on right now. Like his brand is so authentic that's what's pushing him right now. Me, I don't wear his clothes. I don't see myself wearing his clothes, so I can't really answer to where I see his brand. But all I can say is that he's doing sick things. That's it.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. I haven't really looked into anything from him except for the Air Maxes. This was the only thing
I hear that.
looked into. I mean, I like the leather jacket, Avis looking thing. That was kind of nice, but I haven't looked into anything else, so I don't really know what collaborations he can come out with, because I have seen him just like, when I see his brand and the stuff that he brings out, he's like, it's a lot of trial and error of a lot of stuff. Like, he's gone from doing tracksuits and t-shirts, he's done leather jackets now, he's done trainers. I see him doing the tank tops and all sorts. And it's like, I can't really place exactly what he's doing, but I just see him just being able to try anything. Like, it's just really, really experimental. Like, he can go into randomly one day and bring out a suit. I don't know. Like, I saw him doing denim recently too. He's brought out a pair of jeans and a jacket too. It's like, I can't really tell where the brand's going to go, but I like that for him. I like the fact that he's willing to go wherever and try whatever, if you get what I mean.
I feel like his brand, in terms of like, not the randomness of it, but the lack of limits that he puts on what he can create, similar to Supreme.
Yeah.
In that, like, they'll just decide to make a bouncy ball, or they'll collaborate with Pat McGrath. You just don't really know what you're going to get. I hope that Cortez focus more on, like, more luxury pieces. Like, I think the Ava X jacket was the right decision. I know a lot of people are complaining that it was £700, but the people that can afford it will meet you where you're at.
Yeah. That's exactly
and
what it's
that's
always
what it was.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, and that's actually what happened. Like, the jacket sold out, and the people that need to wear it wore it.
Exactly.
And like,
Avrix, by the way, guys, anyone that knows about Avrix was never supposed to be something that's affordable.
That wasn't supposed to be affordable. It was for the rich rappers.
Guys that had money that got their jacket. So
that's exactly what it should be.
Yeah.
And when you're getting a leather jacket like that, like, how much do you expect to pay? This is not Boohoo Man. This is not Man of Devoir. This is not MDV.
You know what I mean?
Come on, wake up. But yeah, I see. I really hope. I don't know what I see, but I hope that there is more of a focus on, like, having really quality pieces. I see that he's obviously working quite closely with Amy Leon Dore and Teddy Santi. So I hope that he takes a couple of notes.
That would be very nice.
From the Amy Leon Dore space, if not already collaborating with them. I don't necessarily see it. I don't necessarily see a collaboration right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. But in terms of like the luxury side of things, I really liked that yellow Avirex inspired jacket, and the black one was cold as well. If he focuses on those pieces rather than just like the same old sugar tracksuit he's always bringing out, same old tank top, Gildan t-shirt, like there's only so much of that you can do without the contrast of the luxury stuff before it starts looking like, all right, what are we doing?
But we also need to acknowledge his market. His market is young kids
who are willing to pay the money, though.
They are willing to pay the money, but when you're okay, he's released the Avirex jacket, which was about £700-800.
£700, yeah.
Majority of these stuff are ballpark around like £30 to, let's say, upwards of £150.
So that's affordable. So the t-shirts are about 35, the tracksuits are about 100.
Yeah, that's affordable. If you're now trying to move to the point where you're now doing more luxury items, you are now pricing out all those people, which is a large majority of his customer base.
I feel like what Kesi's trying to get to is that not having those as your main line is obviously not a smart idea. Having like the luxury stuff as your main line, but having one-offs is fine.
Yeah, 100%.
Doing like key like denim tracksuits or whatever that's a little bit pricey. People will still buy it, and as you said, the people that will buy it. It sells out 100%, no matter what. My thing is that the only fear I have is that if you haven't, because I don't shop at the price, so I don't really know. But if you haven't got a base in terms of what people actually know you for, like I know at one point people really knew him for the tank tops for girls, and the like
shorts and the joggers.
If you don't have a continuous base, is it kind of dangerous? Like I'm going back to Supreme, and I just actually double backed on this when I was thinking about it just now. But when Supreme got bought out, Supreme essentially died, right?
Right.
Pre getting bought out, it was the randomness that really, really got people. But
in a good way or a bad way?
In a good way.
Right.
They're still random.
They're still random, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
I'm not sure where it is, because maybe it's the design's not the same. I'm not sure people are not okay in the right stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. I think there's something to be said about being acquired by a big brand when you were supposed to be the underdog.
Yeah.
And you were supposed to be niche and independent and exclusive. And now...
Because now you're not.
Now you're not, really.
So you don't think it's cool anymore?
It's not cool. It's not cool.
But Supreme isn't cool anymore.
That's not cool. It doesn't count as being authentic anymore. Authentic is, I think everyone loves the underdog, and everyone loves the fact that it was built underground and it's now come up.
And it's only for a certain set of people.
Yeah, that's it. The exclusivity of it being like a streetwear brand.
Or being linked to a certain group of people.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is what I was trying to get to, right? So on Clint's trajectory in terms of where he could potentially get as he gets bigger and bigger and bigger, do you feel like it could get to a point where he is going to lose his niche, and then it will be a situation where he's not cool anymore?
100%.
I feel like there is a way in which he can do it that will keep him popular and keep the brand popular for a really long time. But what I was trying to say earlier was that only focusing on the t-shirts that say, if you don't like me, suck your mum on the t-shirt, it's cool. It's fine. The people that like it, like it. It's for the 13 to 21 year olds. They love it. And that's all fun and games. But eventually you want to get to a point where it's like, it's actually hard to get your stuff. And it's like, it's something that people really want that they can't get their hands on, number one. Number two, there needs to be a balance, in my opinion, there needs to be a balance of like luxury things, so that when something is luxury, because of how much I love your other stuff, I'll be like, no, I've got to have that as part of my collection. Yeah. Because that's what happened really with Supreme. It was exactly. Bogo Town. And then the North Faces came out. It didn't really matter how much they were. We were going to buy it. Yeah. So, and then it got more lavish. You're buying Louis skateboards and choppers. And yeah, exactly. The Louis Vuitton and Supreme collab. You want to buy it because it's Supreme. I feel like what Cortez need to do to get there is focusing less on those Gildan t-shirts. No shade. They are Gildan.
Yeah, fair.
Those Gildan t-shirts and this, you know, those motifs. And I really like the trajectory of adding luxury pieces here and there. Yeah. I would love to see that continue so that the brand has some sort of clout outside of just 13 to 21 year olds.
Do you know what? Yeah, I want to see Cortez and Gucci.
No. But I get it.
It's giving Dapper Dan.
Nah.
I don't think Gucci's cool enough anymore, actually.
Really?
But I don't know who I would want to see. If I... Off-white is not the answer.
Off-white
No,
is definitely
Off-white's not the
It's
answer.
too much of the same,
that would be
samey.
crazy clothing. That would just be Alcatraz and stripes.
Yeah, it's mad.
God forbid.
Shout out my guy though, Ibrahim. That's there now.
Yeah,
Did
man.
you see the collection?
The
That
collection-
collection was
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah, he's gonna take it up.
He's
a notch.
doing great.
gonna
He's
take it up
doing
a
great.
notch.
I don't know who I can see. What's one brand that you can see, luxury, that you can see Cortez collabing with?
The only one I can see is Gucci. I can't see him with Louis Vuitton. I can't see him with Dior.
I can
can't see him
see-
with Fendi.
I can see that Alcatraz logo on the back of that Loewe bomber jacket.
Yes, I can
hear
see
that.
it but you could only see it on the puffer.
That
And it's
would
embossed.
That's what it
It's
is. Yeah,
embossed.
but you know,
I
But
want that.
what
you can
else can you
basically
see
just
on?
see
I
the
want
puffy
that.
But
jacket.
what else can you see on?
I want that.
What else could you see on?
I don't know.
No, Loewe is too like their aesthetic is too clean.
Yeah,
It's
but
too-
that's the thing. I want to see that juxtaposition. Like,
No, man.
like
Leave
because,
them alone.
For example, the denim set that he did. Yeah, imagine, because you see that Loewe denim jacket with the patch.
Yeah.
Imagine he does something. It's like, I just want to see the
No, I
juxtaposition
couldn't-
I-
and see it work.
After,
No.
after you've now explained it,
Definitely
I
not.
definitely
I
can't
want
see
to
it.
see the juxtaposition.
No, you just want to see that jacket.
Yes, that's
I think I could see Cortez with Dior.
Nah.
no way.
So long
if
as-
you can't
so
see
long
with
as-
Loewe,
No
Dior,
way.
No, do you know?
An
do you know why I
Alcatraz
can?
saddlebag.
long.
I really, really can.
And
So
what else?
long as Kim Jones is in charge,
And what
No.
again?
I can see it.
No.
And
I
what
can
again?
see it on the saddle.
They
I can
barely
see
made
it.
it with denim tears.
I can see the print, like not embossed, but like faded out on like a t-shirt. I can see it. I can see it.
Do you know what? As she's saying that, she's seeing it.
I
We
can
can't.
genuinely see it. That's fine if you can't see
No,
it.
we can't see it.
That's
ERL,
fine.
denim tears, Cortez.
None of them. None
Leave
of them.
ERL,
Did you say
aren't in here.
ERL.
I don't even know why you called
did
their
They
name
did a
out.
collab with Dior.
Yeah, but no, but the ERL and
That's what I'm
Dior
saying.
worked, not Cortez and
No,
ERL.
that's what I'm saying. ERL, denim tears, and Cortez.
Denim
Tears- talking about-
Denim tears barely worked.
Barely worked.
Barely.
And you want the
ERL
Alcatraz.
worked
Boy.
to some extent.
Nah.
Now you want Alcatraz. Come on,
Nah,
man. Let's
forget
not be
it.
silly.
Anyway, next thing on the list.
Yeah, big shout out to you, man. Though.
No,
Yeah,
no,
man.
no. Yeah.
What?
Them, man. Anyway, next thing on the list is that we've been informed that there's going to be a Snowfall spin-off. Now, it's been confirmed, but guess what? I do not want it to happen.
Sorry.
Yes. So the spin-off has been confirmed and it's due to start filming, and it's starring Wanda, our
The crack woman.
our reformed
Crack woman.
crackhead. Yeah.
Crackhead.
What's the
She
term that
sold
they
her
call it in those
teeth
days?
For bread.
Base head.
Itchy and scratchy.
The base head. Yeah,
it
the
not
base
itchy
head.
and scratchy?
Isn't that heroin?
No, that's the other one. What's meth?
Meth.
Oh, base says
No,
meth.
Isn't
this
it-
one's a crackhead.
Methamphetamines.
It's a crackhead. That's the name.
She
Crackhead.
got
Crack.
that crack in her
She
body.
cracked her head for that crack.
In her body.
Oh my goodness.
It's crack. It's crack.
It's crackhead.
Yeah, base head. No, base head. Base head
base
is
is
a
crack.
habitual user of free base or crack. What's free base?
Free base is the new one.
What's
That's what
free
it- that's what
base?
it-
That's the
Plane
one when
that
it's in
say
the
crack.
spoon and they heat it
No, that's when they jump at the plane
and they slurp
take
it like it's soup.
Isn't that
Oh,
heroin?
with the no, that's heroin.
No, but you can do it with crack as well.
That's the
Trust
heroin.
me. You
Free
can do it with
base
crack.
is the conjugate base
Conjugate.
form of an.
What's that? Ooh.
You found a new drug, didn't you? Ketamine.
She's shocked. She's shocked. She's like,
Acid.
oh, is that what they're doing?
It's a conjugate base. Conjugate. If I'm thinking right, is like
Solid.
conjured. It's
Solid.
like
Solid.
It's
no,
pasty.
it's like yeah, it's like.
But that's how they heat
conjured
it.
like jam.
So that's when they heat it.
Yeah, base of a form of blah 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 blah. Yeah, so it's often an alkaloid such as nicotine, cocaine, morphine, or
They
ephedrine.
put it on the spoon and they heat it.
Child.
And they sip it
Ultimately-
like it's stew.
Guys, don't do drugs, man. What the heck?
Don't do drugs, man. People
on,
with
please.
gritty teeth.
No, free base cocaine is not soluble in water, so it's difficult to melt and inject the drug.
So what they
So
do?
free base is generally smoked.
That's the one when they put in the
light.
in the pipe.
The
You know
light,
what's his
yeah.
name did from
Snowfall.
BMF.
BMF. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. What's his name is bad.
Which one?
What's the guy's name?
Meech.
Meech.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so
In BMF
free base
is-
just looks like crack. Can't lie.
Meech.
The way that they left the guy walking in the street, yeah. Was
Oh my goodness.
mad. Got his life, man.
That,
Ain't no
let me tell you,
sunshine
Trapped-
when
trapped in
he's
his
gone.
body.
that creepy uncle had enough of him.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because you know how many times he beat him?
He said, "What you need me to do, Meech?
Oh, 100%.
I'll feed that nigga crack all night."
All night, all night, all night.
And
do
just
you know
like that, his life is ruined.
Do you know what's so? Do you know what's so
Trapped in
mad?
his body.
So, Detective Vlad, yeah, did an interview with that guy. The guy, what's his name?
Meech.
The crackhead.
Oh,
The guy.
Lamar.
the British
Yeah,
accent.
with Lamar.
Yeah.
Meech really gave him drugs, man.
What, in real life?
Yeah,
No, he
man.
didn't.
No, because
The actual person?
No. When I'm looking at this person is a crackhead.
The actual
don't
person.
say
What do you
that.
mean?
He's nah. What do you mean?
What do you mean? The actor-
Basically, he's just saying that Lamar in real life looks like a crackhead for real.
Yeah, he looked like he been taking that ketamine.
He just finished doing the role, so of course.
Yeah, he's still in it.
He's
Does he-
still in it.
does
No,
he
I'm
still
not
have an
talking about
accent?
the actor.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about the
him in
real
life.
person.
Yeah, but he's still
Oh,
stuck in his role in his mind.
Boy.
Free him out of that
You're not
cage.
talking about the actor. You're talking about the real person.
real
It's
person.
okay. It's okay. It's
So
okay.
the person, the actual real,
The
life
real Lamar, yes.
He's saying
yeah.
that he can't get out of character. That's all.
Nah.
He's still really on crack for real.
No,
in his mind.
you're not talking about the actor.
I'm talking
you're
about the real
Lamar
person, the real Lamar.
from the actual Big Meat story.
Yes.
Yes. In real life.
And he's actually a crackhead.
He is like, when he was speaking to him, I was like, yeah, he's talking.
So it's a real person.
He was like, I shot at meat so many. Look, you're on crack.
Man.
I need to find out his story. Lamar BMF.
You on
real
crack.
They've really
life.
done him over.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He ain't
Hey.
good. He ain't good no more.
Wow.
He ain't good no more.
Hey, his real name is Leighton Simon.
Yeah, man. When you look at his face as well, he look like he taking a lot of crack.
Oh, yeah. Everything on the line.
Hey.
Yeah, on that pipe.
Wish you could wish.
Yeah, man. This is what I'm saying. You need to look into these real people and see what they actually look like. Because this one,
I looked into Terry.
Terry's eyes gone in it.
Terry's eyes.
Yeah, Terry's eyes like this.
Oh, you got the nose. Wish me luck.
Did you say wink me like?
No,
He
wish
can't
me
wink.
luck.
That guy is gone.
Terry's eye, I can't lie. One is
Yeah,
left, one
man.
is northbound. God forgive me. It's not his fault. Yeah.
Ah, to the window.
He said you saying but
Anyway,
that way.
next
forgive me, sorry.
thing on the list is there have been what? Next thing on the list is that there are rumors that there's
Wait. Can I just say, just for context, guys, the Snowfall follow-up,
Spin-off, yeah.
spin-off is going to be based on Wanda being like, it's the transition between the crack period and like the gangster rap era of the 90s.
Okay.
So she's going to kind of be
An activist.
the go-between between the old Snowfall and the new Snowfall
So
and
after
introduce
everything
new
has happened.
characters. Yeah,
Yeah,
kind
but
of.
we don't care, man.
I care.
No.
They could ruin it.
No, they can ruin it. They should. This is what they need to stop doing. They really need to stop doing. Like, Power Book is just getting by.
No, I can't lie. Power Book's good, man.
No, Power Book's really good.
Power Book's
It's really,
Power
really
Book.
good.
The
They-
Ghost,
It's really, really good.
they knew not to do anything else with everything else because Ghost is the only one that makes
They got
sense.
that one going. No, Tommy needs to come back too.
Tyreek?
Tommy
No,
needs to come back.
no. What's Tommy gonna do?
Tommy's show is actually really good.
Tommy Show was good.
Really good.
Does it need to come back though?
I did struggle
It
towards
doesn't
the
need to
end.
come
I
back,
enjoyed it.
Toby.
I enjoyed
I did struggle. The
Toby?
whole Irish dynamic, it was
Yeah.
getting annoying.
It was, but now it's time for him to take over.
The
So-
skinny jeans with the military boots.
Yeah,
You
man.
know
needs to
I
stop
can't
doing
have a
it.
woman running my empire. Oh,
sound-
what are we
you sound
talking
like-
about,
Arnold
dog?
Schwarzenegger.
You know I can't have a woman running my empire. Don't know where I'm
What
from.
is mad is that Tyreek's dad actually said, "Boy, you're gonna end up like me."
That
Little nigga.
letter will forever stay with everyone
Yeah,
that
it's
watched
mad.
that episode. That
mad.
letter was crazy.
What did it say again? Oh yeah,
I knew you get a little nigga or something
Yeah, I
like that.
knew you'd be here, little nigga, right
Yeah.
where you belong. Long. Yes, there was an echo.
That echoed for time.
Right where you belong.
What is-
What is the letter? And it's just 3 lines.
Wait, are you up to date with the Power Book?
There hasn't been one come
Ghost.
out just yet this week, right?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah,
last week's one.
came out today.
Yeah, we
I
watched
haven't
it.
watched it.
On Friday.
Tyreek's a killer.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Come on, man.
He's a
Spoiler
cold.
alert,
I don't
man.
give a shit. You
I
guys
mean,
watch
I
it.
give.
He is a cold-blooded
I
killer.
do.
Okay, you remember the first book? You remember?
I watched it.
No,
Relax.
you remember the first book of Power?
No.
When we see his dad kill that guy straight away.
No.
I was like, damn,
Damn.
Tyreek.
I mean, it's not the
Damn.
first person he's killed anyway, but
Toby, you need to see how he's killing people now.
Hey, we gotta
Anyway,
see.
next thing on the list is that there's a rumor. There's a rumor on the streets
Oh.
that there's going to be a union, Jordan 1. This is part 3.
Oh, okay. All right, Union Jordan 1. Yes. I'm not sure if I saw a real picture, but supposedly it's Chicago.
God damn.
Chicago 1. Casey yawned. For those that not watching on YouTube, go and watch it now.
Oh,
If you want
brother.
to see Casey yawning.
That was genuine. You on too? I'm too tired.
Yeah, but yeah,
If this
it's
mess-
supposedly going to be a Chicago 1.
Next thing on the list.
Like,
Anyway,
come on, man.
so
I want it.
this one was very interesting. Casey didn't really care about it, but scientists are saying immortality.
Immortality or mortality?
Mortality, sorry. Mortality. is coming in 2030.
Mortality or immortality?
I think it's immortality.
It's immortality.
It's immortality.
Why would it be immortality?
Mortality means death.
Yeah.
And immortality is
means
stay
you don't
alive.
die.
Yeah.
So immortality.
Immortality.
Is possible.
I didn't know what the news was.
No,
I didn't
it's
know.
immortality.
It's immortality.
Immortality should be here by 2023.
Yeah, they certainly said that they're going to be able to help you become
Stay
immortal.
alive.
All I'm saying
Is that something you'd want?
All I'm
No,
saying
I wouldn't want to
is,
do that.
yeah,
I wouldn't want to do that.
Let them try that. They're just trying to speed up the time.
No.
Okay?
Do you know what? Yeah,
For my father, Lord Jesus, to come back down.
yeah,
Let's
100%.
not play no games.
I'm not gonna lie. Because do you know there was another thing that came up here, touching on this.
What, AI?
Yeah. When they've told it to stop by 6 months.
They said they need to relax.
Have you heard? Have you seen that?
They said that they need to relax.
So basically, Elon Musk and a few others now they're basically going on a change freeze.
Yeah.
That's what they're going through.
Because I think it was Chat GTP or CGP.
Yeah, the Chat GT.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Especially level 4 is supposed to be coming out very soon. It's like super duper advanced.
Yeah.
They said you guys need to relax
Yeah.
because they said you guys are.
There's a huge risk here.
You guys are risking Sarah Connor coming back and doing all that other stuff. We ain't
Not
got
Sarah
time for
Connor.
that. We ain't got time for that Terminator.
Then the Arnold Schwarzenegger accent will be real accurate. Huh? Yeah,
I
that
feel,
is it.
I feel
I
like
won't let a woman run this bar.
now that we're talking about Terminator, you know,
Yeah.
I think the person that created Terminator actually had a dream or an epiphany, and this thing is actually coming in real life.
I mean, I won't be surprised.
What was your favorite Terminator?
3 or was it 2?
It's number 2, dog.
Which is the one where the robot gets crushed in like the grinder thing.
I don't remember, but the one that I remember, the robot is like made of liquid metal, and it will just turn
That
itself
was
into
free.
a
In
knife.
That was free.
That
was
one
free.
is cold.
No,
That
that's
was free.
two,
I think
no?
that was free.
That one is
No.
cold.
There's
Knife
one,
man.
there's one.
Knife man.
Knife man.
Knife man.
There was one that's for me that is just so scary where he's walking and he gets trapped into this machine and he gets crushed.
Yeah, he
Like
gets crushed,
I
yeah.
can't remember which one
And
it is. I
his
think it's
eye
number.
pops out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the scariest one for me.
Knife
by
man
the way.
is scary.
Terminator
as-
2. Terminator 2.
it 2,
Yeah,
them two?
yeah. Terminator 2. And Major girl.
Oh yes, I think that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one when he gets trapped in that machine.
And this is his final form.
Yes.
Yeah, Terminator
that's the
2.
scariest one.
That's the best one.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
Damn, yeah,
when
I
I
don't
saw
want to think about it 'cause it's very scary. It's
death
very
is
When they
scary.
started bringing all
imminent.
that Sarah Connor rubbish, they ruined it. But that
No,
the
but-
original Terminator was sick.
It's not bad. No, it's not bad.
I mean,
the
it
last
doesn't compare.
The last one is when he actually comes back.
Yeah.
And I was
And he helps her.
Yeah, and he ended up dying.
Yeah.
Chai.
Waste everyone's time.
Yeah, anyway, next thing on the list, and I am so happy to talk about this. Yes, watches and wonders.
Yes.
Watches and wonders.
Let's talk about it.
So, there are some new releases. We're in 2023. There's new watches coming in, there's new watches coming in, and there's old watches coming out. No, don't worry, I got my. Don't look at my list. Don't look at my list. Yeah, man, kettles. All right. So, the first one. The first brand we're about to focus on is Rolex, yeah? Because we don't care about anyone else. That's a lie.
We care about Cartier.
I care about Patek. I care about AP.
Cartier.
But Rolex is probably one of the biggest brands out there. So
You forgot Cartier.
yeah, Cartier. Yep, Cartier is more a jewelry brand, but let me not get into the technical. Anyway, so Rolex, obviously, a lot of you know Rolex because obviously it's a well-known brand. So I'm going to go through some of the latest watches that are coming out and the watches that have now been discontinued.
All right.
Cool. Or do you want me to go discontinued?
Discontinue. before
Okay,
listening.
so
Quickly.
the Blue Sky Dollar has been discontinued.
Nice watch.
Very nice watch. I really wanted it. Really wanted the watch. It's gone now.
Okay.
All right, that one.
What else?
The Platinum Daytona
Lord
Okay.
have mercy.
has gone.
That one's a big one.
That's a big hit to the Arab market.
Oh,
Big.
yes.
Was it the Arabic now?
No, the whole Platinum Daytona is gone.
But just generally,
But-
because you know how Muslims, they only or
They're not allowed to wear gold.
yeah,
Oh,
some
serious?
Muslim, yeah,
It's against their religion.
they believe that wearing
Wow.
gold is against their religion, so
Yeah.
they only get platinum or stainless steel, right?
But, yeah.
but generally people want platinum.
But let me just say this just to get that one out of the way because I don't really care. The Platinum Daytona is coming back, but it's coming back with an open back. So you can see the
Oh,
mechanism
that's
at
nice.
the back.
Oh,
so the
okay.
Platinum Daytona is just being
Replaced.
revamped.
Okay,
The John Mayer Daytona.
okay.
One of the best Daytonas out there, the all gold Daytona with the green face
Okay.
is discontinued.
I'm happy about that.
I'm-
Let's-
that-
what's
No,
next?
I need
I
that
would, I
one.
would want that one.
I need that. That one needs to be in everyone's collection. A green face Daytona.
But the yellow gold, it just makes it look fake.
I hear it. It doesn't make it Michael
It makes it look mad cheap, bro.
It makes it Michael Kesi.
I call Michael Kors Lexington.
No, don't do that. But do you know what?
Shout out Lexington myself.
Nah. Do you know? I didn't get that watch. I didn't get. Did you? You had it gold. Gold. You know, yeah.
Lexington.
And the thing is, yeah, the diameter of the watch is like 50 mil.
I can't wait till I can chew how I look good looking. I genuinely thought
Lexington. You know what that means?
No, that's disgusting.
Come on, man.
But the thing is, yeah,
Michael Kors Lexington, massive. Stand up.
Rules.
yeah, I didn't get one. I had a black Michael Kors.
Yeah.
Was that
Anything else?
Lexington?
No.
But he got his one straight from
Michael Kors.
the shop. Yeah, Michael Kors.
Yeah, man. I bought
Yeah,
my
but
straight
Can
from
I
the
just
jeweler.
say, screw Michael Kors, because
Facts.
I went for an interview one time at their Birmingham Bullring branch, and they made me do so much. They made me serve customers for like 4 or 5 hours. It was all part of my
And they
interview.
said-
I
Free
did a
labour.
great job. They didn't even tell me I didn't get the job. They just said,
Wow.
never heard from
Free
them
labour,
again. I
work
said,
experience.
they got me for modern slavery. Chat.
Wow.
Fuck them, man.
Free labor. That's crazy.
But what I do want to say is that a Daytona has now entered
The building.
the top 1-2 watches I want right now.
Okay.
Which one is it?
The size of it, no, I'm talking about
The
Daytona,
Daytona in general.
The
Oh, yeah,
Daytona,
come on.
oh my goodness. We were in Selfridges.
It's a beautiful watch.
We were in Selfridges last week. No, this week. We were in Selfridges this week. The size of the Daytona is so perfect.
It's a big boy watch
It is.
because the price. I think the starting price of Daytona is late 20s.
No.
I mean
No.
early, late teens.
Yeah, it's 12.
It's not 12.
12
It's about
bags.
12.
12?
Yeah,
12
12,
bags.
13.
Retail
Do you know what's even
for a
mad?
Daytona.
Yeah. Do you know what's even mad?
Sure.
I had the opportunity to buy one.
That's your own business.
Yeah,
Remember,
but at the time in Birmingham, yeah, but
Toby, it was in my face.
And that's your own
the
business.
Panda Daytona.
No, because
12
you've had
bags.
2 or 3 chances. And I
no,
ain't
had
no,
4
but,
or 5
but the
chances,
thing
mate.
is, yeah, the thing is, it's not fair.
Shit.
It's not fair just to shout like that, yeah, because obviously the GMTs were a sad day, but the Panda Daytona, this was what, 2017, 2018. We didn't have 12K sitting somewhere like that.
I did.
Man said, look, we don't have the GMT for you, but we've got the
Daytona.
The Daytona.
The Daytona.
Yeah.
This is what people get to get themselves on the market.
The price difference is what?
It was
5K?
a 5 and 12.
Yeah, about
5K.
6K.
It's 7 bags.
Yeah.
Sorry.
7
Yeah,
That's
I'm
where I
not
came
gonna-
in from.
Umbrella
yeah,
for 35
yeah,
bucks.
No,
Just so I can get
do you know what? The money was there, but
You were never
it was
gonna
too
use
much
it.
of a jump.
Yeah.
It's mad that Rolex acts like Hermes. Like, I think that's just with these brands that you have to buy the whole world to get this one watch.
To get that one.
You're taking
Mate,
the
it's
piss.
mad. It's mad. You might not even need to buy a watch. You might have to just buy some paid jewelry.
Umbrella for
and stuff. It's
35
mad.
bags.
Anyway, next thing on the list, and I'm so happy this watch is going. God knew this had to happen. The Milgauss.
The Milgauss.
The Milgauss.
I wasn't mad at the Milgauss, but I definitely feel like as someone that doesn't really care about watches, it was just there to be there. It didn't really have a
Oh, come
place.
on.
It ran out of its place
The-
when Hype ran the
The
thing.
Milgauss is the ugly duckling
This
in
is-
the whole Rolex line.
It didn't have a place.
This is as useless as the what's that other
The Air King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Air King had its time.
No,
though.
but Air King had its time. I wanted the Air King at one point.
Air King had its time. It
Yeah,
was
he
like
definitely
it was like the Santos Dumont. Like it was just like a thin, nice,
just
cute,
nice.
It was a
easy
waste of
breezy,
my money
beautiful
and a
cover
waste of
girl.
my
I'm not gonna lie. I just wanted that watch, the Air King, just to say I had a Rolex.
Yeah, I know.
So sad.
Let's keep going. Come
Anyway,
on. What do we
next
have?
one.
Let's speed up.
So the stainless steel
This is
black
leaving or
face
coming?
going.
Okay.
Stainless
This
steel.
list is long, man.
Stainless steel black face Sky Dollars going.
Okay.
The Panda Daytona. The reference model is leaving, but they're going to bring out a new reference model of the Panda Daytona.
Yep.
So everyone's
Yep.
sad.
And the Meteor dial Rolexes
Go on.
out the window.
All right, cool. That's fair.
Okay. So
Now-
what's coming? What's coming in?
New releases. So the new Platinum Daytona with the open back is coming out. A white gold sky dollar with a black face, and it's got
Rubber band.
the rubber band.
Okay.
Delicious.
A rose gold sky dollar with a blue face is coming out.
Okay.
A GMT. The GMT Master 2 with the Jubilee bracelet, two-toned, black face is coming out.
Delicious.
What's the two tone?
Gold and steel. Gold and steel. Yeah, they messed it up. Yeah.
But you know.
It's giving
there are-
Lexington.
Toby can go through the rest because I only picked out a few.
yeah, 90,
and
the
there's
1908.
Guys, not too many. Come on, let's not.
1908. I love this watch.
yeah, no, that's a nice dress watch.
Absolutely love this
Yeah,
watch.
a
yeah.
nice dress watch.
It's gorgeous. It is
But
nice.
I think one that kind of stirred up a bit of.
The Oyster Pet.
No, it wasn't that one. It's the day.
It's the puzzle one.
It's the
The puzzle
puzzle day
day.
day. Yeah.
Bullshit.
I
don't
didn't think it was bad.
Really?
I didn't think it was bad.
Okay, I thought it was not bad, you know.
I didn't think it was bad.
Childish.
Do you know what it is? You got to have a little bit of fun every now and again. The rainbow bezel watches, like they to a lot of people are just childish.
No.
But but
We can't do that.
I personally feel like it's not that bad. And shout out Faye, aka Stay Balanced. He like kicked up a big fuss saying,
Yeah,
like,
he
it's
did. He
absolutely
didn't like it.
horrid,
He didn't
so
like it.
disgusting. This is how
Terrible.
it should have been. But actually, I thought it was cool. It's just whatever.
I really like it.
Let me be real with you, yeah. We ain't gonna compare it to the Rainbow Dial diamonds because that's
Beautiful
that's a
watch.
different level of playful. That's rich people playful.
Yeah.
Now I feel like they're trying to make this regular people playful, but it's not regular people playful. It's just damn childish. It looks stupid.
Do you know what they tried doing here? They didn't copy the exact same thing that Richard Mille did, because you know Richard Mille has like a fun Richard Mille that says like it has 3 bars and it says like I want to fuck you or I want to do this. Yeah, they tried doing something like that.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work because now they've got emojis on the date thing, and I'm like I don't want to. I want at least a date.
So corny.
That's where I came from.
And this Oyster Perpetual too looks so stupid.
I think it's fun.
No, it looks
it's
stupid.
fun.
Anyway, guys, let's move on.
It's
So
fun.
those that aren't
Anyway.
interested in watches, this is a snooze fest.
But wait, I looked at the whole Cartier line and there was only 2 that I'm going to talk about.
Go on.
So the Cartier Santos, they're releasing the Cartier Santos in a green face.
I want this.
Whoa.
In a green face. So you bring up while I'm
Absolutely
green
delicious.
face. It's bud.
I'd like to have a look.
Absolutely
It's
delicious.
bud.
And what else?
And they're releasing a Cartier Santos Demont in rose gold and it's a skeleton.
Don't care for that.
I'd like to see it, please. Could you load up both of them?
Yeah.
I'll show you the Santos.
So that's Santos.
Oh,
Yeah. That's gonna look stupid.
I would have loved the green that the Rolex do, though. Like a bit less.
can't.
They can't.
I know they can't, but damn, like, come on,
Yeah,
bruh.
nah, but yeah,
That's very much green goblin green.
I could see
You
that on
know?
my wrist. I could see that on my
I
wrist.
do like that, though.
Yeah, and this is the Demont. No, it's this one. It's not even that one.
Razzmatazz.
No, it's not even. It's none of those. It's this one.
This one. No, I don't care for it.
Yeah, it's this one.
Clapped.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's move
So,
on.
yeah,
I
that's
really,
it.
I really did like that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
there's some other brands, obviously Cartier. No, not Cartier. AP and Patek. They've definitely brought out new watches. Richard Mills brought out a new unisex line, which is a lot. It's very nice, but the price is expensive.
Of course.
One thing that I will say is for the girlies that like Cartier jewelry, just know that the prices are going up, and I'm assuming
They're already up now.
No, next
April
week.
15th.
So April 15th. So I know it's definitely the case for Cartier. I would assume it's across all of the jewelers that use gold. The prices of Cartier are going up by approximately 7%, and this
Yep.
is due to the new
Putin.
it's due to the price of gold going up. Price of gold going up, cozzie lives, all of that has been a factor. So a bracelet that was once 3.2 is now 4 Kinnica.
Yeah.
No.
A lot of kitty
6.6.
cash.
Yeah. So even in say
No, the one that was 3.2 is now like 4.4.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the one that's 4.5 is now 6 something.
The screw is exactly 7.1.
so
That's gonna go up.
talking
again.
about this.
Yes.
Because
Oh, so you're going back to the news from the beginning?
no,
Sorry, Rusty.
no.
No.
The bracelets, no.
Checking.
I'm not gonna lie. I've made my decision. I'm getting the smaller bracelet.
What,
I'm actually-
the love bracelet?
Yeah, the small love bracelet.
Why?
Because the big one's too big for my wrist.
Is it?
So now the question that I want to ask then, on top of the bracelets or off the back of the bracelets, is we are seeing that the prices are getting absolutely ridiculous. So the bracelet that Michael's referencing is the classic Cartier love
In
bracelet,
small.
not the thin. Oh, you're talking about the thin version?
I want the small one.
Okay, but let's just talk about the normal one for now, yeah?
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
normal one, at the minute, it retails for 6.
6.6.
Before, at least 3 to 5 years ago, that
3.5.
bracelet was 3.5,
Yeah,
4 grand.
easy.
You could have
Easy,
got that
easy,
from
easy.
Heathrow tax free for about 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
man.
remember seeing it. So obviously times have changed, that's fine. But the design hasn't. And a lot of people have been saying online that they would rather take a popular design like the love bracelet. We all know what that looks like.
Yep.
I'll insert a picture for reference.
Yep.
We all know what that looks like. And would we consider taking that design to a jeweler who will then use solid gold and create that design for a much cheaper price? Would you do that? Would you consider doing that? Or would you deem that as making fake jewelry?
It's fake jewelry.
It's
It's fake. It's imitation, for sure. But I mean, to save kitty cash,
look.
would you please?
Do you know what? Yeah,
Do as you please.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this statement. Yeah, this is the only time I would And the thing is, you're gonna call it counterfeit. You're gonna call it wherever it is. I'm still paying grands for whatever I'm paying.
It's real gold.
It's real gold. It still gets hallmarked regardless. The only
does that mean,
difference,
hallmarked?
So when you get gold or whatever type of jewelry, whether it be gold, platinum, white gold,
Silver.
rose gold, silver, it gets hallmarked for the amount of gold or the amount of
Gold that's in
metal
there, yeah.
that's in there.
Okay.
So when you've bought jewelry that's of a certain amount of gold, the quantity of gold is a certain amount, it has to get hallmarked.
If not more than a Cartier at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, what I've come to understand, and I was talking about this with about rings too, it's like, what you need to understand nowadays is that when you're buying rings, for example, you are paying for the name.
Yeah.
For example, Tiffany & Co., right?
Yeah.
Tiffany & Co. starting price for rings is 30k.
I've never even bothered to look at rings
Starting.
there.
Mate.
I'm just saying, starting.
Right.
Doesn't matter what size the rock is, starting price is about 30k. And then up, and it goes upwards from there. But you can get a larger size stone you can get like a 1.5 carat or 1 to 1.5 carat ring, engagement ring, for example, for about 3 to 4k. Tiffany's version will be 30k.
Yeah.
So going back to the Cartier bracelet, which is going to go up to 10k, you can get a Cartier bracelet because it's stamped Cartier for 10k, or you can get the gold and get it made somewhere else and probably pay close to 2 to 2.5, maybe 3k.
100%.
What makes sense?
I hear what you're saying, and I guess it's not to say that it doesn't make sense, but I guess that for those that use the fence, aka DHgate, and buy fake things or like advocate for buying fake things, what is the difference if I was to say, for example, I'm gonna get this fake leather, I'm gonna get this bag. It's a fake Loewe bag, but it's real leather that they're using, and the quality is good, and it's a fraction of the price. What's the difference?
It's a bit
Okay.
different.
Why?
Okay,
Why?
okay.
Why? Tell me why.
It's a bit different.
Unless it's the exact same materials.
Which it isn't.
Unless it's exact same materials, exact same
Which it
leather,
isn't.
because this is exactly what you're going to do with the Cartier. Exact same materials, exact same leather and everything. Then I don't want to hear it, because most fakes, especially DHgate,
Yep.
is not the exact same leather.
It's not.
It's not the same materials. If
Okay,
it was,
so now let's use the example of Louis Vuitton that don't even use leather for their Neverfull bags, for
Fair.
example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
right, so then that's different.
Do you know
personally.
what?
Is
Do you
it?
know what? There's no way for me. There's no way. There's no way for me to really adjust it.
Yeah.
Justify it. But there's a difference between trainers
And
and,
jewelry.
when it comes to jewelry.
Well, let's go to bags. Let's stick with bags. Let's not do trainers.
Because if we're gonna do that, we might as well do the same thing when it comes to wedding rings and stuff like that.
No.
And you can't do that.
No. Let's not. No, you
Customizing
can.
wedding rings is accepted.
No. How's it
No,
accepted?
what-
It's
I
generally
was-
accepted. Buying custom. Sorry, Kesi.
No, it's
buying wedding rings, like versus customizing, is basically the same thing.
So
The reason why buying wedding rings are completely different is because designs aren't attached to designers
Yeah.
like that.
Well,
you
okay.
don't
Tiffany
have,
there.
but it's generally the decoration in the box. If I showed you
No,
a ring
no.
that I was wearing, you wouldn't recognize that it's Tiffany.
Tiffany has a specific thing that they do that make it Tiffany.
What is it?
It's to do with the way the diamond sits inside the
prongs.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's something
fair,
that they do. I
fair.
don't know.
Let's put that aside. But
should be a
generally,
jeweler.
you didn't know.
I said
You
the
said
prongs.
Okay.
I don't know if
But
it's
generally there isn't like a specific. It's not like the pair goes for this brand or whatever, right? You've got a Neverfull bag that is made of coated canvas, a Goyard bag that's made out of coated canvas, and I buy a Goyard bag from DHgate that is made of coated canvas, same quality, because what quality is there for plastic?
I think it's
there's
different,
none.
man.
Why is it different to taking gold, same materials, to a jeweler and saying make this for me for the fraction of the price?
Do you know what? Yeah.
There's nuance.
Tell me the difference.
We could do the back and forth.
There's nuance.
I know my truth.
What is your truth?
My
Okay,
truth
the thing
is I
yeah,
know what I'm doing with my money.
Once again, let's bring it back to reality. Yeah, we do not live in a life of things are fair. There's slight, no, let me be real.
And
There's
it's not black
there's-
and white.
There's slight nuance and stuff, yeah, especially with jewelry, because you can walk into a jewelry store now, yeah, like I don't know, Trotters, for example, and you will see certain style of bracelets which other jewelers have imitated across the board. Just because it's not to do with Cartier doesn't mean that design has not been taken from another jeweler that first started it. You get what I
Okay.
mean?
But let's talk about like the iconic things like say Van Cleef, for example.
So Van Cleef, yeah, for example, if you go to another jeweler and they're doing Van Cleef style bracelets and whatever,
Right.
and it's real gold and real materials,
Yeah.
I'll be okay with that.
Yeah. Same.
I would, because in the end, ultimately, the thing is, yeah, for me, is when it comes to gold and diamonds, yeah, as long as it's gold and diamonds, then
You're paying for the material, you're not paying for the brand.
That's it, like, you're- yeah, sorry.
Unfortunately, this is just the way it is when it comes to designers and shoes. Is that when it comes to a bag, for example, you are paying for the name. Most of the time, you definitely are paying for the name.
Right.
That's just the way it is. But unless you're going to tell me that the materials are exactly the same, it's like, because this is what gold is like. It's almost as if you've gone to that shop, taken the gold that they've used and put it into yours. Only difference is that it doesn't have the hallmark on the stamping.
Right.
You can't say the exact same thing when it comes to shoes and bags. You know what I mean?
I've got the answer.
Okay.
There's certain items, that need the name and the authenticity behind it.
To carry it.
Yes,
to carry it. To
and
carry
for
the
you
worth.
to be able to do whatever you want to do it. For example, with watches, if you buy a fake, you can't. There's no value in it. There's nothing there.
Fair.
With jewelry now, if jewelry, for example, if I was buying a Cartier bracelet, and the aim was, okay, cool, I'm gonna keep it, then I'm gonna sell it, then okay, cool. That's when the name needs to hold some sort of value, and you need to buy from these people. Jewelry is with stuff like the Cartier bracelets and all these type of bangles that you're buying.
Because the stuff is actually valuable, you don't need the brand's name to back it.
That basically, with certain items.
There'll be a slight difference in resale price, obviously, because if someone was to the shop and he saw your version which you made and a Cartier next to each other, they'll most likely put the price of the Cartier slightly
But even
higher.
outside of resale value, I think Michael's made a really good point, which is that, for example, a bag, especially a Goya bag that's made out of coated canvas, is literally plastic. You're not leaning on quality because it's not quality, it's plastic.
You're leaning on the name.
You're leaning on the name. So when it's jewelry, diamonds, solid gold, yes, Cartier has a hand in the value of it.
Yeah.
But it still is solid gold.
Fair.
So at that point, it's less about the name and more about the actual
quality
material.
and the material.
I hear that. That was a fair rebuttal.
So
I just want to let you guys know I do not shop on DHgate or the fence or none of the like. Alright.
anyway,
Should we move on? Because I'm just conscious that we've already hit an hour.
Yeah, I think we should go on. Yeah. Okay. So are we gonna go to music quickly, or are we gonna skip music?
Let's skip music, but I do have one question.
What?
The question is, who do you think would win in a versus 50 Cent or Lil Wayne?
Lil Wayne.
Ooh, 50 Cent.
Lil Wayne.
Why?
50 Cent.
Lil Wayne. Oh damn! There we go.
Hits and features are included.
50 Cent, yeah. You need to understand, Lil Wayne had his time, but 50 Cent had a whole generation.
No
of
one had a
chokehold.
time like 50 Cent had a time.
No one had a time like 50 Cent at a time.
50 Cent had a whole bloody generation of chokehold.
Lil
Yep.
Wayne's time was timeless.
No, it wasn't timeless.
It wasn't timeless. It was dated.
It was
but
timeless.
when it was
It was
there,
timeless.
it was a
Lollipop now.
great time.
It was
Listen to
time
the Lollipop
spent
right now.
I listen to it on a regular
Okay.
basis.
Emily.
What?
Emily.
Chill on
When
Emily.
Emily comes on in the club, you're singing every single damn
Literally
word.
only up until Nigerian
Toby.
hair.
Yeah, no one knows the rest. He doesn't even know the rest. He doesn't know the rest.
Toby,
50
people
Cent is
are
up
still
there
singing
still.
in the club, yeah, today.
No one's singing in the club.
Yes, they are.
Whenever it's someone's birthday, that's still
Yes,
the song
they
to play.
are.
That's still the
Who's
song to
playing?
play.
Amelie. Toby, no one is.
Nigerian hair.
No. 50 Cent
In
would
the club.
definitely-
Hate or love it. You know.
I get money.
I get money. Right then. It's
How,
too many.
and if we're gonna do features, how we do? Are you kidding me?
Ayo Technology, that is a classic. I don't care. She want it. I can tell she want it as well. That's up in there.
Yeah, but okay, cool.
I
What
know
PIMP.
when you
am I saying?
know
Versus,
when
yeah,
you
versus
know
is when
me.
they come out and they sing and they talk and they rap
Yeah,
live.
50
right?
Cent will definitely be better than him still.
I'm sorry, Lil Wayne will get more Will ups.
No,
No, he won't.
I think he
fear.
will. I feel
No.
like he will.
With
because
what?
listen to what's that song? Yeah. You remember what? You remember what was it they said? What was it? Was it Yo Gotti? Not Yo Gotti.
Who? What?
Love Gotti. Love Gotti.
Yeah.
It was in an interview.
Yeah, no, I've seen some of his interviews.
I know what the one
Yeah,
when
when
he
he
was chatting
said
about
that, we
Ashanti
heard
for
it.
5 hours.
No, when
And
he
they heard it in the
when
club.
he heard it in the club.
And they were like,
oh my
oh,
god.
damn.
He was in the studio, yeah. And then like someone said, oh yeah, 50 just dropped this new song, have you heard it? And they started playing it. He was like, okay. All right, so he's got the beat. Let's see, he connected the dots. As soon as he heard, he can find me in the club.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit.
we got a
And
problem.
at that time, they were beefing.
Yeah, he's like, oh,
Hey,
People
go
are getting
ahead,
killed.
go ahead, go ahead,
He
go
was
ahead.
like, this guy.
He's done it again, y'all.
That's why Jara went missing.
21 questions, many men. His
man.
first album alone.
All right.
Come
His
on.
first album, how did he? I swear his first album went like triple platinum.
It had to. I think it must have gone diamond.
50's winning.
50
Yeah,
Cent.
100%.
50 Cent is, can I say, one of the greatest rappers
Yeah.
of all time.
He could
Yeah.
be in that category.
Yeah,
I
he
guess.
could definitely be in
I need
that.
people to let go of some of these old rappers. 'cause
Well,
there's
like
been
Tupac and Biggie.
There's been people since then that can top some of them. I think.
I'm not gonna lie. if we're
Not
gonna
a conversation for now, though.
No, if we're gonna talk about best rappers of all time, Biggie and Tupac are not out there. They were too short-lived. We're going based off.
They were too short-lived, but it's not based on time.
You're talking about the impact
the
during that
quality
time.
of what you brought out and the impact. Yes,
No, it was all a dream. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that.
still going
But
to the clubs.
if we talk about the rappers that a lot of people are really banging to right now, even from the time, it's like 50 Cent, Jay-Z, all these type of people. No one's really talking about Tupac and Biggie. They did what they did, and they were spearheading the genre. They really were. But if we're talking about people that are like should be on Mount Rushmore, Biggie and Tupac are not on there. Biggie and Tupac, that's another conversation for another time.
Yeah, I think that's another conversation for another day. But I definitely feel like when people die, they get extra points.
Yeah,
Extra
guaranteed.
vim, yeah.
And
Ridiculous.
When you really think about the vim that they're supposed to be getting, because let me ask you, how many Tupac songs?
that.
No. How many Tupac songs really are bangers?
A changes, dear mama. What you would do?
Yeah, 3.
Do for love.
California, 4.
Knows how to party.
Now come on, more. You went into acting, remember?
I get around.
Come with
5.
me.
I hate it. That song.
That song's scary. That song is scary. Okay, 6. How many?
The one that he did with Biggie when he died.
7.
Why am I dying to live?
7.
That doesn't even count, man.
No,
Come on.
no.
That song is a banger. I
That's
used to
a
play that
biopic.
back,
That's what it is.
back to back to
Great
back.
song.
What? I'd let it run.
Wait, is that those we used to find?
No, that's Elton John. A ghetto gospel. I hate that
So
song.
that was 8.
And
The
that's back.
worst all seasonless.
So wait, what's the one?
Sing to this young warrior.
What's the one? The mother one.
Mother.
Dear mama,
No,
baby.
No.
Brenda's got a baby.
Din, 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 din.
So
Din, 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 din.
Feel this way.
That song was dangerous.
Yeah, that's a good song.
No,
What
but
song is that?
I'm not gonna.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, the one that yeah, that was the.
No, you're Can I just say, yeah, I was reading a thread about the singer that did Sweet Mother.
Yeah.
Very, very, very sad story. I'll read it offline. But basically, long story short, he was dirt poor, like couldn't rub 2 sticks together poor.
Wow.
And then he just loved music so much. His dad bought him a second-hand stereo, and he made a xylophone from dried plantain skins. He was going around the different towns trying to make music, trying to make it big. Then the Biafran War happened. He managed to live past that, was going around becoming just this music man. And then he finally recorded Sweet Mother. The industry wasn't feeling him, and then someone from America heard it. He went famous. He got a band. He toured around the world.
Wow.
And then something happened. He had to come back home. I think I don't know. I can't remember what happened, but he had to come back home. It didn't work out for him. He didn't get much money. Pirate radio and that. He didn't get any money in the end.
Damn.
And then finally, someone picked him up like in the 80s to say, look, this song is big. We want you to do a world tour, 50 cities around the world. Him and his band. Pick up your stuff. Let's go. He gets his US visa. He's on his way to the airport.
He dies.
His car breaks down. He gets an Okada. Okada has an accident. He dies there and then on his way to the airport.
Tragic, man.
And then his mum, who the song is obviously about for the way that she suffered and like did all that stuff, she died from heartbreak. A couple months after, had a stroke, died.
Damn.
That's it. Nobody saw any money from that.
Wow.
Everybody in that group, dirt poor.
That's
sad,
wild, man. Damn.
Sorry for that.
Let's get to the main topic.
Yes, let's get into the main topic.
So
That's really put it down.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
100%. Yeah.
His son did perform it live.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, his son.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was about to say
He
he
had
even
a
had
son.
time to have a son.
He did actually. He got married to someone, and that woman's family didn't want her to marry him because he was dirt poor. And he actually made another song to follow up on Sweet Mother. If it's not really in that lyrics of like, we don't want you to marry that boy, but he used it to make his music.
Terrible white family. Anyway, next. Okay, so the main topic. So I had a conversation with one of my friends. Yeah. And we were speaking about a post that went out. And the post was in regards to some woman, her expectations on men in this day and age.
What exactly was her expectation?
So her expectation. So what she basically said, when she added this kind of like category of what she wanted for men, for them to have a house, have a car, have a good career.
Was this the one that specifies to that men that have actually bought a house or something like that?
Yeah. So you must have a house. So you shouldn't be living with your parents. You should own a house. You should have a nice car. You should have a good job, a very good job. Obviously, a good amount of money. When she added those filters into the market, the amount of guys that were available to her were -2.
Yes, I heard that.
So obviously we spoke about it. We went back and forth regarding it. Obviously we were both of the same opinion. But then I thought we need to talk about unrealistic expectations in this day and age.
Fair.
Because we have way too many unrealistic expectations in this life.
Okay.
And so what we're gonna do, we've all 4 of our own unrealistic expectations. We're gonna talk about relationships. We're gonna talk money. We're going to be talking about career, life, and whatever things we feel like talking about.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so who's going to go first, or should I go first?
You go first.
All right, cool.
What's the first category that we're going for?
The first category, money.
Money.
All right, let's
Okay.
go with money. Okay, so the first one I have is many of us believe that we need to find like this great idea or whatever it is to be like super successful. And I feel like what I've learned over a long period of time, and I wish I learned this a lot earlier, is that compounding is your best friend.
What does that mean?
So, in a sense that, for example, if I had, instead of me trying to figure out a way to get this good invention out there or create this mega idea, I could earn a decent job or get a decent job, earn a decent amount of money, and put my money into my savings or put my money into investments over a period of time. So I remember there was one point in time in my life where I'm still earning good money.
Thank God.
Praise God.
I was trying to put, I'll say the number, I was trying to put like £1,200 into my account every single month. Yeah? Into my savings every single month. Yeah. Tight ass. It was very tight. Tight. Damn, it was tight. And what I used to do, I used to take money out of there because it was too tight. Ugh. Pause. Yeah. So what? And then 2020 hindsight, I then realized, Michael, if you had dropped it down to £800 a month, I would have been
comfortably.
I would have been living comfortably, enjoyed my life, and I would have been able to reach so and so goal
Quicker.
same time, and I would have had a lot more money then.
Yeah.
So what I noticed is that compound interest is actually your best friend. Like, you don't actually have to wait for this mega idea. A lot of us are waiting for the lottery, this mega idea to come through, or to win this jackpot of money, when you could actually just live on what you have and still get to a good position. There was one guy, because this is where I'm getting to my rich dad, poor dad. There was one guy here, he had a decent job, invested his money over only God knows how many years. I know when, especially our generation, we want things quickly as well, hence why compounding doesn't look nice to us. But over the lifespan of his life, which is, when you listen to our generation, we're like, when we don't really want to be waiting for the rest of our lives. But after, like, when he eventually died, he had like 8 million. He was doing a decent job, but he was investing every single month. It wasn't a mad amount, but investing his salary every single month into an investment account. And then by the time he came to only God knows how old he was, he had like 8 million.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't actually have to wait for these big ideas and stuff. You can actually do what you can with what you have and still be well off.
Yeah. So I think with that being said, the issue that you face now, especially with that guy that you just gave an example of, is that his time
was different.
It's different, unfortunately. His time is like people were a lot more satisfied, and it was a big thing where most people were satisfied with working and just letting their money grow.
Yeah.
But they can buy a house. Like, it wasn't something where you had to like do the most to try and buy a house and do all this stuff. If you had a decent salary, you can buy a house. Middle class, I'll probably say, probably working class will probably eventually buy a house, but working middle class will eventually buy a house. We're now in a time where stuff that are as small as buying a house and being able to look after your family is now classed as a luxury. You know what I mean? So the idea of I need this now, as opposed to waiting for compounding, it's not at the forefront of people's minds, because even though compounding is a big thing and it's still very relevant now, it's still very possible for you to compound and become a millionaire.
Yeah, 100%.
that means that you have to push the basics that you need right now to live further down the line.
Yeah.
Buying a house needs to be pushed down further down the line because I have to wait till my money gets to a certain point. That's why the idea of where's the big idea is about, because if you really think about it, the stuff that we should really be relying on, being our jobs and everything, are not matching up with everything else.
Yeah, they're not
Cost of
stable
living crisis
anymore, man.
specifically. Wages are not rising with inflation.
Yeah.
So it's one of those situations where everything that is just the standard that we should be able to have is now well above what is standard, what's normally achievable for everyone. So this whole idea of I need to make more money, I need to get to a certain level is out there because that's the only other option that we have. Because we can't turn to our job and say our job's going to be able to satisfy us to be able to get what we want to as easily as it was for them. So that's why I don't really get that argument. People saying that, you know, why don't you just wait for your time to come and do this and all that?
But the thing is, I think I didn't make it clear because I want you guys to go to your next one, is that don't just neglect the
100%.
compounding. Like you can do two things at one time.
For
like
sure.
you don't have to just solely just focus on the big idea. You can actually do both at the same time and still reach your goal. But let's go to the next one.
So my one actually follows on from what you guys were just saying, and it's the unrealistic expectation is the idea that we'll all have like lots of money in our savings when actually and statistically most of us for our age are in debt.
Yeah, man.
A lot of debt. And I think
that one's a bit nuts, blood.
like there is this idea, and it's definitely down to like, you know, Twitter and discourse and people not being honest and people not being transparent about what they earn and what they have and what's real and what's not. But a lot of people don't have savings. My savings aren't nearly what I feel like they could be or should be at this point. And the main reason why is because I have debt, and a lot of people have debt.
Yeah.
Everybody at the age of
pretty normal
19 got a credit card. Like everyone got a credit card. Everybody got a credit card. Everyone's got overdrafts. Everyone that has, and I don't want to say everyone because I know that's not literally every single one of us, but majority of us, if we are either working class or middle class, something that was proposed to us from a very early age was, if it wasn't a credit card, it was an overdraft. If you went through university, it was recommended that you get a student overdraft. And a lot of people haven't cleared that because it kept on increasing. And then you see your overdraft as your zero when actually it's not. You think that it's money that you have when it's not. It's money that you borrowed, and the interest just lets it sit there, and you can never really afford to pay it back unless you're in a really fortunate position where you can actually say, do you know what, I'm going to put a lump sum down and pay it off. Not everybody has that opportunity. And I think one thing that I will say, and I don't want to talk too much on this point, is because excuse me, we're really lucky, all three of us, to be in well-paying corporate jobs. This is not the norm for a lot of people. People our age aren't in jobs like this. Junior doctors are getting paid 25 bags, 30k, and they live in London, or they have to commute to London. Before I lived where I live now, when I was living in Surrey, a season ticket will cost me £600. 6,000. What am I talking about? 600. £6,000 to get to my workplace in Zone 2. So this idea that like everyone's up and rolling in it, and if you are, God bless and congratulations.
Yeah, man, for sure.
But statistically speaking, people our age are in debt, and this idea that we've all got money is a lie. So
I think that's one of the biggest issues with expectations when it comes to money, is that the standard of, you know, what's normal is not really there anymore.
right.
The standard of what's normal is, and I don't really like doing this, but it is really been overshadowed by social media.
But is
Right.
there even a thing as normal anymore?
There is a
If
thing
we go
as
by
normal.
the average.
There is a thing as normal.
Okay.
Because when they talk about it all the time, the majority of the country doesn't have savings.
Yeah.
A lot of people are in debt.
Okay,
And it's the
fair.
thing is, what ends up happening is that you see a lot of people online showing off money in your face. I got money, I got money, I
Right.
got money. And that wasn't something that was always there.
Right.
So the standard of what's normal now has been changed to the point where it's like people think it's normal to have a large amount of money, even though there's only a certain amount of millionaires in this country,
Right.
And there's only a certain amount of billions in this country. Even though it's
For what
increased,
we're earning, we're in like the top 5%
for
Yeah,
real,
I know,
earners.
for real.
I know.
That's
So
ridiculous.
it's one of those ones where even for us, sometimes we talk about it and we're like, oh, we need to be doing more, we need to be doing more. But when you really deep what more is, more for us is, oh yeah, we want to be.
It's just the next level.
It's the next level. More for other people.
It's a mountain.
It's a huge step.
Yeah.
So what you really got to think about now is that what your threshold for where you're at is you just got to base it on yourself. Unfortunately, you can't base it on what everyone else is doing, especially not social media. Because social media will drive you crazy because it makes everyone look like they have money, and a lot of people, as you said, are in debt. A lot of people have got these things, and the thing is, a lot of people look at that and say, "Oh, I'm in big trouble," but you're essentially not. As long as you're keeping up and you're doing what you need to do to try and get out of there, then that's your race. Run 100%. That race and do what you need to do. 100%. Not to say that don't see it as a regular thing that you have to stay in that, but do your thing to get what you need to do to get by. But don't ever look at yourself and say, because I'm not there, I'm not doing enough. You know what I mean? I think that's a big problem in our generation.
So while we wait for Tobi's notes to pop up, do you want to do another money one, or are we moving on? Let's do another money one.
Yeah, let's do one more money one.
Yeah.
That I must get a property in London.
Is that a thing now?
That's definitely an expectation. When I hear a lot of people speaking about where they want a property, they're all like they want a property in London, and do you know how much it costs to have a property in London?
I didn't realise people were still expecting us to live in London. I thought we'd all accepted that we were moving to Essex and Kent.
I feel like we all accept that we accepted out of London. We
actually got kicked out on our asses.
People still want to live in London. People still want to live in London.
Want to, but I don't think that's a general.
Whether people are doing it is something else.
The thing is, I'm going based off what's coming out of people's mouths.
Fair.
I did have one of my boys, shout out to you, he said he wants to live in London, and I just pray that God blesses you, because it's not 800 bags for a one bed
studio.
The thing is, living in London, if you got the money to live in London, Jar provides. It's all good. But I feel like the expectation of living in London shouldn't even be an expectation anymore. If you got the money, that's cool.
Yeah.
But from what we've learned as well, and even though we at one point we were like, damn man, like I would want to live in London. Look, London for me is only an hour away by train. I'm okay with that. I bring out a book, I read that book, I make my way to Fenchurch, and I'm calm.
As long as I got my seat, I'm kosher.
I don't get what people like. People don't understand. We're already talking about people in debt. Yeah. This debt, this Bessie you're about to put on your neck, the one that Burna Boy did, that one, I'm telling you right now, will be too much. Heavy is the head.
Ultimately, it comes down to what you can afford. But
100%.
Going off the back of that, my money one was financial stability, and the idea that you have to be the most stable person at this age. Now,
okay,
we are of the category of 25. Let's say 25 to 30. Yeah. And the idea of that you have to have your money completely together by this age, for me, is so unrealistic.
I will challenge that.
Okay, let me just land though. You've just come out of university, and you've ended university 21, 22?
Yeah, 4 years ago.
21, 22?
Yeah.
Some people don't land a corporate job if you study if you study a course that was supposed to get you a corporate job.
That will get you a corporate job.
Some people don't land in a corporate job until at least 2, 3, maybe 4 years after. Yeah.
That's mad.
That brings
I didn't get my corporate job until like 5 years after I graduated.
Fair. So
that's a lie.
That's
3 years.
So let's say 3 years after 22, that's 25,
yeah,
that's already in our category. Now what you got to remember is that between that 22 and 25, if you didn't have a job during uni, your average salary is probably about, let's say, 20k, 25k if you're lucky, right? Some maybe 30 if you're very blessed. But in that time, you're trying to work off your student debt. You're trying to work off your overdrafts. You might have got into more trouble not trouble, but you might have got into more debt elsewhere, etc. You're trying to work off that at the age of 25. Now, once you get to 25, let's say you land your first corporate job, early 30s maybe, early 30k.
Terrace.
It's still not incredible, especially if you're in zone one. You're not doing a madness. So what? 25, let's say you work there for about 2 years, because you probably need to work there for 2 years to build up experience. That gets you to 27, right? 27, you probably land a 40, 45k job. Unless you're blessed 50.
The way you're speaking,
I know. I'm speaking from privilege, but I'm just trying to give people an idea of what this is like, right? Realistically.
Right.
So now you're 27, 3 years from 27, you're about to touch 30. Now, a lot of stuff can happen in that period, right? Because at that point, by the time you touch 30, you've got 5 years worth of experience, And I'll probably say, from my point of view, 5 years worth of experience, you could be on 40 to 50k upwards, right? Financial stability at 40 to 50k in the current climate, it's still not good enough.
You can't afford a damn thing.
It's still not good enough.
And this is what I'm saying. This example that you've even given is a really kind example.
Best scenario.
If I come out of uni, I came out with an English degree.
Yeah.
The route for me was to either become a teacher or to get into like marketing, writing, that sort of thing. those jobs don't pay well. You're talking about a corporate job. A corporate job is not the norm for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So even people that are working in marketing, there are people that can work in marketing that don't work in corporate,
Mm-hmm.
right? And people that work in marketing, for my job where I was earning about 40k, that was only because I was in a corporate space. If I was working that role in a non-corporate space, like a fashion brand, like what I was in, like in retail, I'd be earning 30k.
In fact.
And that was like 3-4 years of experience.
Mad.
So imagine you are 27 years old, you're a big woman, if you don't want, or a big person, if you don't want to live with your parents anymore because you are a big person and you have to pay rent, you are paying a minimum. If you're living in London or trying to live in London at a commutable distance, you're paying at least £1,000 for a comfortable living space. So you're paying £1,000 when your paycheck is what, 2 bags at most, maybe?
2.2.
Yeah.
So you've now paid a half of your rent, a half of your paycheck.
Then you need to pay for your car.
Then you need to, well, that's to even
That's
say,
if you got
let's
a
say you
car.
don't have a car.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Let's say you just need to commute into zone 1. £300-400 a month. You've now paid £1,000 for rent.
If you're living in you're saying
If you're living in London,
if you're living in London, then their fingers.
it's about £300-400 a month on the basis that you're traveling in, day out, 5 days a week. We can't just assume everyone's working from home.
And remember, standards nowadays is that, especially for a guy, you have to have a car at that age.
But let's even just
Just
say
say
you
you have
don't
to
have
have
a
a car.
Let's just say you
Based on
don't have a
standards.
car,
Okay,
right? Rent is a bag.
Yeah.
Your travel, I'll even put it down to 200.
Okay.
1.2.
So you got £1,000 to live on.
You've got £1,000 left.
And you're out of the house, so you need to pay for food.
You
I
need
need
to
to
pay for food.
living
You need
and
to pay for
savings.
living costs.
Pay
And if
for
you're in
clothes.
debt,
You need to pay for clothes. You need to pay for food. You need to pay for groceries. You need to pay for how much you spend when you go into London, socializing and the likes. You need to pay just to feel decent, like a normal human being. And then there's all the other things that you need to pay. The prices of energy bills. People are paying $3,000 for some, even when they're living on their own. This is what they're living. And you're turning around and you're expecting us to have things figured out.
Yeah, so
there's no way.
This is what frustrates me about a lot of these conversations that fly online is that when
Mad.
people are saying that what I expect for a guy to do or what I expect for a woman to have,
That's what I was
and
gonna
this
say
and
in the
that,
relationship
it's
one.
such a dangerous conversation because social media nowadays makes it look like this is just normal for someone to
Right.
have this, and
Yeah.
as we have clearly shown, even on the corporate ladder, we are very blessed in where we are for
Yeah.
sure. And but this is not standard. This is not. This is not
this
normal.
ain't normal.
You know
This
what I
ain't
mean?
normal.
It's not. It's not. This is generally God's blessings, and people need to understand is that the normality of what 20 to 30-year-olds are doing right now
Yeah.
is like it's few and far between. A lot of people are in that space which I would call normal, which I'll probably say salary is
Or
probably about 30.
not normal, average.
Average, sorry, which is I'll probably say it's 30 to 40, maybe 50k. I'll probably say a lot of people are outside of that, 50 and upwards. Some people in the six figures and all that kind of stuff. But what we need to remember is that when people are turning around saying that my man needs to have this or my woman needs to have that, you got to deep like what that actually means now, not based on what it meant
Things
before.
are expensive, bro.
Things are a lot more expensive and it's not as easy. So people that are looking at themselves and saying that, I'm not doing well enough for myself and this and that. I mean, you actually just got to focus on yourself and look at yourself
Word.
a few years before
Damn.
and just see where you are now, because really and truly in the current climate, where you are is pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. After when you broke it down like that, I was like,
It's crazy, and this is the thing. This is why when a lot of people say that you haven't got a property at the age of 30 and you're still living with your mom and this and that.
you know how the housing market is. That
it's not even just that. It's like rental market is crazy.
Bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say the
And
rental market.
if
as
you're
well.
saying that these people want to rent, these people might want to have a house, and try and save for a house, saving for a house, and pay for rent at the same time.
This is
you know
lit-
how wild that is.
So this was literally my next point on my. Are we staying with money?
Yeah, go on.
So my one was that this idea that everyone can just suddenly afford to, one, live on their own, and two, buy their own home.
Yeah, that one is a mad expectation, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm going back to that tweet because that person that said that their man should have a house, their own house, you need to go and buy your own house as well.
So I'm not going to get into that kind of stuff in terms of what you need to do and what you need to do here. Ultimately, what I want us to remember is that what that girl said, she's well within her rights to say that, but as she clearly said to herself, the people that are in that category, what they can do that is -2. So ultimately, you're saying to yourself now that you don't want a man because obviously what you've just said to yourself and you know it is unrealistic. Because you said the people in that category is -2. There's no one that can fulfill your standards, essentially. So your standards are stupid, basically.
Do you know what?
Unless you don't want a man.
Touching on that point, because it now seems that we've moved from Kesi's point into, which it does move into that section. But I think what I see in that situation is that if she has her own property, then fair play. That's what your expectation. You want a man that's got a property. But if you're someone that doesn't know what it takes to get a property, and you don't have a property, and you're expecting someone in this climate as well, not saying that it's impossible, because it is possible to get a property, but you're expecting that your man should have a property, you're kind of fooling yourself. Because what I don't like is that, and I'm talking about both parties, but I would say that it comes from a lot of women as well, that if you're expecting a man to get the property and you're not willing to join together to get it, and you don't see, okay, this person is actually a great person, but because he doesn't have a property, I'm going to leave him. Or if you're this person that you say, okay, I've seen a guy, he's a nice guy, and I'm willing to team up with him. I don't know why a lot of people don't see that anymore, because this is stuff that our parents were doing.
Facts. I mean, can I say one thing? Yeah, I think social media makes it look like the values of what a man or woman has is second to the tangible things that they have.
Right.
You get what I mean? Because when you say someone to have a property, yeah, someone that is thinking about someone's values and look at a person and say that person is someone that wants to get into a better position, that is trying to do better for themselves, trying to find ways to make money to get a property and this and that. Oh, let me come to this person and join forces with him to try and get to that person, or join forces with this woman to try and build to get to that person. That's the person that looks at values. Yeah. Now, if you're a person coming to a relationship and saying, my girl needs to have a car, or my man needs to have a car, or my man needs to have a house, or my girl needs to be on a certain salary for me to go out with her, or else I can't do that. My girl's still like a bad bitch, this and that. Ultimately, you're putting the tangible over the values, and that's where you're going wrong.
Let's not go too far into the relationship.
I know,
yeah.
for sure. But that's what
we're going
I'm saying.
into that in a second. But what I was saying about like everyone being able to afford to live on their own isn't necessarily linked to whether it's a man that's doing it for the sake of to be a good partner or something. I'm even just talking about everybody in general. But like you said, the rental market is actually a joke. For anybody that has actually tried to look for a place, like I have first-hand experience. Everything is a joke. You are getting nothing, and it's costing you 1.5. You are getting literally nothing. I saw a house today, or a flat today, where this is the washing machine and this is the bed, and it's 1.1k in zone 3.
Do you know what's so mad?
Are you joking me?
Do you know what's so mad, which really hurts, is that a lot of people's rent that they're paying is people's monthly mortgage.
So that was even the next thing that I was going to say, is that where the rental market is right now, it is so suffocating to the point that it's not that people don't want to progress. It's not that I don't want to be my own boss, or I don't want to be a homeowner. I have the money to be a homeowner. And actually, this is something that my parents have struggled with for a very long time, or had struggled with for a very, very long time. It's not like we don't have the money. It's not like the money isn't there. It's not like I can't even afford to pay the mortgage if I had one. It's about the inability to pay rent now, save for a mortgage deposit now, and be able to somehow get off the ladder. Because if the rent for a 2-bed flat is about 2k in London, roughly, I'm even being nice. And then let's just say it's 2k, and then you need 40 bags, roughly, to save for a decent deposit for a 2-bed house in London or otherwise. 40 bags, right? How do you expect me to save up 40k when I'm paying 2k a month for rent?
And then imagine, and what did you say, 2k?
2k a month for rent. That's not bills. That is just rent. That doesn't make sense. And then you've got people here. Look, I understand that people want to be landlords, and I've decided I'm just not going to be talking about landlords in general anymore because I understand it from both sides, and that's completely fine. Yeah. But this idea that like I don't deserve something that I should have, I feel like everyone should have the same level of access to things like a mortgage. I shouldn't have to beg to be able to get a mortgage. And the fact is, with the way that the market is at the minute, I have no choice. But to anybody that's renting now, it's like coming out of a 10-foot well to even get close to the mortgage, to the homeowner market. So I feel like if we do segue into the relationship thing, which is now where I feel like we're going, when we had the standards of I need my person to own a house. As the goals change, as the goalposts change, so your expectations should change.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that I haven't necessarily seen as much. If we're talking about just, you know, TL Twitter topics, what people like to say their expectations are in straight relationships, that's not something that I've seen. Also, another thing as well, people like to shame flat sharers. Gone are the days where like that wasn't a valid choice.
Look,
if you're flat sharing, you're still paying about $1,000 in some cases.
what is mad is that, like I said again, a lot of our parents did this back in the days as well.
Bro.
So I don't know what's
it's only because they did it with their friends that we're not making a loud
of my parents
thing.
came to this country or living in that one house with
Absolutely.
like 10 people.
And
My
they
mum
all-
came,
Yeah.
6 of them,
Exactly.
6 to 8 of them in a 2-bed. What's going on?
It's
mad.
You make it work.
Do you know what? Like I think, like Toby said, and you've even said it as well. Yeah, is that social media has definitely
definitely changed things.
One of the reasons.
It's ruined generations, I'll say.
I don't know. I wouldn't go that far.
I'm going to be honest. I think it has.
I definitely feel like the thing about social media is that it's bridged the gap between affordability and exclusivity for certain things. So, for example, if we go back to what we were saying about the Averix jackets, when we see Averix jackets, we're like, that's so nice. But you don't see the fact that that was for celebrities, and we've got normal people clothes for normal people, and we've got expensive clothes for celebrities that can afford it. There is a gap that's been completely bridged, which is why 15-year-olds are going to Nobu for their birthdays as opposed to Jimmy Spices or wherever,
Nando's.
as opposed to Nando's or somewhere that they can actually afford. 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds feel like they need virgin hair, which is £300-400 because that's just like what the celebrities are doing. So we're all bridging the gap here because we're all on the same place, which is Instagram or TikTok or wherever.
That's the thing. Has the gap been bridged though? Because essentially it's still expensive for everyone.
It's still expensive, but the difference though is that like, if you think about it, yeah, I don't know about you guys. I didn't know what Louboutins were until I was old enough to be able to take myself to a Selfridges and find out what Louboutins was.
Okay.
But I saw it on other people.
Yeah.
I saw it on celebrities and I knew that's an expensive person's shoe. I have a
okay.
business looking at that shoe.
Yeah,
right.
When we're all on social media and I can't tell the difference between J-Lo, an influencer who has money, and me, we all look the same. We're all doing the same thing. We're all on the same social media. I write to J-Lo, she'll respond to me. We're all the same. If you're wearing that shoe, why aren't I having that shoe? As far as I'm concerned, it's a trend. It's not filtered by affordability or wealth or whatever. I'm not going to see, if I see Beyonce wearing something, I will just want to know that I want it. Maybe not Beyonce. Beyonce is not necessarily a good example, but if I think of any celebrity, no, not because of that, because she's just not accessible. But if you think of a celebrity that's somewhat accessible,
or like Kim.
they just bridge themselves. Kim is a good example. You'll see Kim wearing something and it's like, well, I don't care how much it is. I want to look like her. And boom. Now that's what we're doing. Now everyone wants to go Nobu. We're hearing Sexy Fish. Now everyone wants to go Hacker. Everyone wants to go these places. And I feel like that's what social media does.
I haven't been Sexy Fish.
I haven't been Sexy Fish
I've heard
either.
Sexy Fish is alright.
Is it?
Yeah, I've
What?
heard
Yeah,
it's
well, it's expensive, so I wouldn't say worth it. But you know,
I
it is what it
want
is.
to go Nobu though.
I want to
know
go.
about it.
I really want to go back to Hacker like
Hacker.
ASAP.
Oh yeah, that's
We've always had a
I
good
need to
time
go.
with
But
Hacker,
Hackers
man.
are amazing.
No, every time me and Kesi have gone,
I've just been tasting it on my tongue all week. I'm not even gonna lie.
The
I'm
last
not even
one,
gonna lie.
they messed up last time because the duck was not available.
Yeah.
wasn't available.
It wasn't. Let's move on to relationships.
Okay, so mine is that a lot of people think marriage should be easy, or should I say relationship should be easy. So
What do you mean?
So, in a sense that what I'm seeing a lot of is that once people get into... Okay, so people expect themselves to be this perfect marriage life that they're supposed to have. That there's not supposed to be arguments, there's not supposed to be issues and all of that type of stuff. When these things come, it's now... I see divorce rates being so high. I was going to say something so wild, but I had to minimize myself.
Right.
So I think the expectation of you getting into a relationship or even getting into marriage and thinking that it's going to be smooth sailing, I think is the expectation that a lot of people have, and it's just not realistic. And a lot of people need to understand, like, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And I think we've all seen it in first case, where, like, I can put it out there, like, our parents, like, as much as I love my parents, like, they have their own issues. They're both two different people, but it isn't black and white. It isn't easy. It's not supposed to be smooth sailing. So I feel like a lot of people see first sign of trouble or see things, and this thing about red flags. You see obviously red flags aren't, I'm not going to say that they're not real, but if you see an issue, I feel like there's certain things that you should be able to work through.
Okay, so there's nuance to that. For sure.
Come on,
there's
dog.
definitely nuance to that.
Come on,
red flags.
dog.
Yeah, the thing is, with red flags, especially compared to our parents' time and our time, is that there's a lot of parents that have endured stuff that they shouldn't have endured.
100%.
For the sake of their marriage and the sake of their kids. It was never for the sake of themselves and their own lives.
Let them finish.
It's for the sake of their marriage and the sake of their kids. And now we're at an age where people are bringing those things to light and understanding we don't have to part with that.
Right.
On the other hand, though, I feel like this is where there's nuance to it because there's levels to stuff, right? You can have a situation where you go into a marriage and you see the first sign of struggle in terms of like financially, right? And you're like, I'm sorry, I can't deal with this. If you can't pay for all the bills, then I'm sorry, I can't be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's where I feel like there's a difference, right? So if we're talking about trouble for the sake of domestic violence.
Okay, now. Wait.
No,
okay.
I'm not saying that's what you're saying. I'm just saying that's where the nuances in the red flags. So when you see someone that is like very erratic, very very angry,
showing violent tendencies,
then yes, that you have to make a decision yourself in that situation.
But that's not what you were talking about.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When you said red flags, I'm just saying just to clarify that there's nuance to that.
Because 100%, 100%. 100%. I was talking about arguments and stuff like that. Like, okay, for example, the traditional way of someone getting married is you court that person, you don't see that person, you guys don't sleep in the same house, you don't live together, you see that person here and there. And I was having this conversation with someone where, actually no, it was at Annie's wedding. That I was speaking to someone and we were talking about, okay, leading up to marriage and then eventually getting married. Now, when you're in a relationship and you're both living in your parents' house or in separate places, there's certain things that you don't see all the time. Yeah. Obviously, if that person comes up to you and they then have some issues wherever, you're like, okay, damn, okay, it's all right, cool.
I can go back home.
And I don't have to deal with it right now. Or you deal with it there and then they go home and you go home and you live your life. Cool. Now, when you're both living together, you can't run away from that person.
Right.
So
you have to sleep in that.
You have to sleep in that bed.
You're gonna run this only to next week.
Yeah. So you will see certain things that happen on a regular basis, and we all have our own faults, and they will irritate you. Cool. Being in a relationship and getting married to someone, the person isn't perfect. So you actually have to love that person for their faults. You have to. And you have to accept, okay, cool, this is something that I would accept. Hence why you got married to that person.
Right.
So when you see these things and you now see them and they've now amplified a lot more because obviously you're around that person a lot more, which means it's going to irritate you a lot more.
Right.
A lot of people run away from that because like, oh, damn, I didn't know this person was like this. And this is what I'm talking about. And this is why I feel like a lot of people expect when they get married, they don't understand that, look, you only saw like a glimpse of that person.
Right.
Now that they're with you, it's this is the full version of this person. And then people run away from that person expecting marriage and relationships to be perfect. That's not how it is.
So I feel like your point and my point are two sides of a similar coin.
Go on, what's yours?
My one was that the unrealistic expectation is that our parents' relationships dynamics will work for us. And that is more in relation to, I guess we're saying the same thing, but the difference in what I feel like you're saying is that when the going gets tough, nowadays we are more inclined to just run rather than to actually work through the problems. And I feel like partly to what you said, Tobi, that has been the problem with our parents' generation is that women specifically, if we're talking about straight nuclear family type dynamics, they did not have the option to freely divorce or freely leave a situation if they felt like that was necessary for them to do, whereby now we can. And so if I decide that actually this red flag is too red for me, I can dip. Do I feel like the balance is there? Maybe not so much, but I don't feel like that's because people are just inclined to run. I feel like it's down to the fact that marriage has become less about the sanctity of marriage and its ties to religion or whatever religion people subscribe to. I feel like people marry more as a ceremony or a thing to do. There's a term I'm looking for, but like a thing to do that you're supposed to do.
The next phase of their life,
Yeah, it's not necessarily like a religious, holy, spiritual ceremony. And if it's not, then it's like a contract. And if I decide I want out, then I can just want out. If I decide I no longer want to be in this studio anymore, I'll just hand in my notice. And that is how people could say that they see marriage based on the fact that there isn't that religious tie. So that's what I'd say about your point. But yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
What?
That's how marriage is seen now.
I think it's a shame.
I think it's a big shame.
I think it's a shame.
I even want to take it one step further and talk about culture as well. So in our culture, Nigerian culture, you got traditional wedding, you got a white wedding, right? I've come to understand that the traditional wedding is just a link up.
Basically,
it's no longer a tradition. Anyone tries to tell me that your traditional wedding is part of tradition and you're doing this to meet the family, this and that, rubbish. I say
No,
it's
100%,
barely
100%.
10% of us want to do it for that.
Right.
It's purely a link up. And my issue with that, in terms of relationships, is the idea of having to do stuff the traditional way. That was my bit.
Right.
So my thing in relationship is having to do stuff the way, as you said, the way our parents did it. Courting for a certain amount of time, getting married, buying a property, having kids. Saying that step-by-step thing, can be copy and paste in this day and age, I think it's complete rubbish.
It just cannot.
I feel a lot of people keep to that, and I think it's very, very dangerous. Because ultimately, it's that you're not cutting your coat
according to your size.
Exactly. Ultimately, you can be in a relationship right now, and granted, our culture says that you shouldn't move in together until you're married.
Right.
But if you're at a certain age and it makes sense for you both to come together to move out together, you're gonna wait until a certain amount of time for you to say we need to get married. Now,
and even outside of age, affordability,
that's what I was going to go into. So even outside of age, being able to afford a wedding now, because those people want to get everyone has to have a wedding, right? Especially in our culture, you have to have a wedding. Being able to afford a wedding, afford a property, and be prepared to look after kids at the same time is easily 100K plus. Easily nowadays. So my thinking is that in this day and age, because a lot of people come to relationships and you come into a relationship as an individual, you are where you're at, the other person's where they're at. You could have been saving from the age of 13 to where you're at right now. The other person could have probably started saving or hasn't even started saving yet. And they're starting at ground zero. Now, if you used to come to a relationship and say, this person needs to be able to do this and this year, even though you love that person, you see all the values in the future in that person, you're ready to leave that person as opposed to waiting because you think in your head I need to have or support that person because I need to get the stuff, this copy and pasted life right now. And I'm not saying that you can't have what you want, but I'm saying that this is one of the issues that we have in relationships, that the idea of growing with someone is no longer
a thing
because we're at a point where we're like, by a certain age, you want to be able to do this and this, or I need to do this and this in this step. A by-step process.
Right.
I need to get my house first, or I need to be married first before I can get a house, or I need to have kids by a certain age, and all this kind of stuff. And I feel like ultimately what it does is that it puts people that are in relationships in situations where you are leaving someone where you could have generally had built with and done something with to try and achieve this physical thing
fantasy.
that you want. It's not a fantasy because it is achievable. You can get it, but it's about getting it with the person that you want to get it with.
Yeah.
It's like, are you willing to wait to get that, or
So
are
that
you
you can
and
keep your expectations.
just to live your life with the person that you want to live your life, or do you want to get your expectations?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, you can't have both, unfortunately, because everyone is where they're at. Right. So I feel like that's the issue with a lot of relationships. That a lot of relationships and marriages break down because people want certain stuff, and you want to put your wants over your relationship, and that's the issue. When you come to a marriage, you're both coming in together, and you're both becoming one with wherever you're at.
Yeah.
So you need to work with each other to get to where you want to be, or you got to compromise, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Now, it's that compromise which I feel like our generation has taken to another level, where it's like, I'm not saying you're not allowed what you want, because a lot of people turn around and say, oh, I'm well within my rights to have what I want. But the idea of compromising for you is a big issue. Are you willing to compromise for your relationship? I don't know. If you're not, then, boy...
Is it really love like that?
You get what I mean? Like, I feel like there's parts of our parents' relationship which I feel like a lot of people need to take, and there's parts that we need to chuck into the bin. And I feel like a lot of them are very clear.
Yeah.
A lot of them are very clear. The financial aspects of our parents' relationships were not the same.
Yeah.
That's very clear. You need to chuck some of the cultural stuff away. The idea of staying within a marriage just because of marriage and just because of kids, chuck it away. The idea of compromising and working together with someone is something that we're losing in our generation, I feel.
I think what Kesi was saying in regards to like the values and the belief side of things, that is definitely something that is there's certain things that because of religion is the reason why a lot of our parents are still together and stuff like that. But I think values, which is such a key thing in marriages and stuff, is not there anymore.
It's not that it's not there for everybody, but yeah, for some people, because I'm not in anyone's marriage, I don't want to go that far to say it. But one thing that I will say is when we went to #EdioTwenty3, one thing that I loved about the ceremony and every aspect of the wedding is that God was at the center. And I've never been to a wedding where it has been so focused on God. And like Annie's vows, I'm sure she wouldn't mind me sharing. It's like Annie's vows consisted of like, I will do this through Christ for you. God has put me in your life. It's God ordained. Like it's focused around God. And I know that, you know, with what it says in the word, as a Christian, I'm speaking as a Christian, with what it says in the word, marriage is all about God. It's about the love of Jesus Christ and the love that God has for us, bringing two people together as one. And when you miss that part, you don't get the full aspect of what God would have wanted a marriage to be. So you will get whatever version of that you give it. And so that's where we are.
Fair.
I wanted to do one more relationship one, and then I think we should move on to the other two. And this is about platonic relationships. And I feel like a really unrealistic expectation that I have put on myself, at least for one, and that I've seen, is that we are expected to maintain these relationships of people who we've been friends with for years upon years upon years. When the fact of the matter is, people change and
people come and go, man.
People come and go. You know, the word that I really don't like is outgrow. I really don't like that word.
Yeah,
but
I like it either.
I don't like it because outgrow implies that you're here and I'm here. And that's not necessarily the case. Like sometimes you will do something and that is what you believe is successful in your life. And I believe that success is very subjective. And so if success for me looks like not needing to work, and I may not be earning the most, but I just don't want to work, and you believe that success is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sources of income, we're not the same. You haven't outgrown me. You're just doing what you're doing. I'm doing what I'm doing.
Look at the definition of outgrow. Essentially, you're saying that because it doesn't fit, you don't fit in my life anymore. You can't be about because I'm here. You're there. You can't be in this situation with me.
I just don't like using the term for friendships.
I think the statement is still valid.
The statement is valid, but I don't like to use that term for friendships. I don't.
I still think it's valid, but I hear it.
But yeah, so for me, this has been something that I really, really struggled with. Like, I'll be honest, I have lost a number of friends that I've been really, really close to over the last few years. And I've spent a lot of that time, like, being really unkind to myself, saying, like, this is your fault, how you're the common denominator, or things along the line of, like...
Did you outgrow them?
No, I did not outgrow them. Like things along the line of like, you know, like what did I do? Was it something I said or something I did? And it may have been. That's very fine. Like, I can hold that one. But I think it gets to a point when you're really like honest with yourself in certain dynamics and situations. You know, when someone that you've been friends with for a long time, you're not that anymore.
Bon voyage.
You just know. You just know when you're hanging around them and like you're looking for things to say. It's weird. You're worried, are they judging you? Are they saying something? Do you feel a way? And it's like, I remember I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and there was something that she said to me when I was like in the middle of a disagreement with someone. And it just gave me the peace that I needed. And she said something along the lines of like, when you love someone the way you're supposed to love someone, it's supposed to be really easy. Like, you're not supposed to ever at a point feel like this isn't a safe space for you. And I'm really grateful that there are people that I have in my life that I can trust. Like, I can just be myself with. I don't have to worry I'm censoring myself in any way, shape or form. And I definitely feel like when you are honest to yourself, that friendships aren't about time and they're more so about connection and like people trusting you and knowing you, then I feel like that's really what's most important. And also another thing is that people that have known you for a longer time have a harder time accepting that you have changed, if you have changed. And I feel like, for me, for one, there's an example at the top of my head that I can think of one person who, when I met her years and years ago, over 10 years ago, she was completely different to how she is now. And anybody that knew her then and is seeing her now would be very confused and would say, she's acting, she's doing the most, she's doing whatever. When actually she's just progressing
just her,
in a
innit?
big way.
Yeah.
And not everybody is as open to accepting that there is that much of a drastic change in someone's life.
Yeah.
And it sounds a bit like a bit of a dig. That's not really what this was supposed to be. But I think it's just something that I have realized over time. Like, I definitely felt like, I needed to keep people around because this is proof that I know how to make, not proof that I know how, but proof that I can maintain a relationship, a long-standing relationship, because I'm being a true friend by making sure that we stay friends.
Yeah.
That's just not always the case.
No, I hear it. Because I'm not going to lie, even me as well, it's just over the last like 3-4 years where I just naturally accepted people just leave your life. That's it. Like,
when they do, if they do.
Yeah, if they do, like
Yeah.
you don't need to even feel bad. You don't need to feel like it is your fault. Like people just go their separate ways.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like it just gets like that.
I mean, I feel like I'm just blessed generally. I'm blessed because I don't think I've had friends in my life like that before. I haven't experienced that.
That's
yet.
nice.
And I feel like no, but that's the thing.
No, that wasn't
that's the
sarcastic,
thing.
sorry.
No, I get it because that's the thing. A lot of people. I've had conversations with different people before, and they've said like to me like, oh, like can those people even be your friends? Because it's like, are you guys even
You've had
close?
no disagreements,
Like, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Are you even around them all the time? Like, do you even know them anymore? This and that. But I think what you said is key. Is that when you're around those people, as long as you know that the love is there, you know that it's still a
Yeah.
safe space
That's
for
it,
yourself.
yeah.
Some people might think it's naive, but you know when you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And I feel like so long as that's there, I don't need to be around these people 24/7.
100%.
For them to be called my friends or my brothers or whatever I want to call
Yeah.
them. Like ultimately, like I have just blessed to be in a situation where I'm still very good friends with people from secondary school
Yeah.
that I've known for years, and we're still very cool, even though we don't see each other all the time.
Yeah.
But when we see each other, the love is there.
Yeah.
People might think it's fake, but
Yeah.
we know the love is there.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what that matters.
You get what I mean? And
100%.
you know, and that's why I don't know. Like relationships are very tough and they're very hard. But ultimately, I feel like once you get to that understanding of, as long as you know when you're in that situation, the love is still
It's
there.
love, yeah.
Then why do you care?
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, should we do 2 of the final 2 sections?
No, I think we should just move. No, we don't need to do career right now, man. That one's.
Okay.
yeah, go on, go and do it.
I just wanted to say, in career, it kind of ties with money, but the peak of success is not always entrepreneurship.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair. Yeah, I no, it's
Yeah, I hear
fair.
it.
It's fair.
Neither are multiple sources of income.
No, very fair. Because I'm not gonna lie. I remember. No, it's not even. I remember. Like in my mid-20s. In my mid-20s, I was very focused on trying to be an entrepreneur.
In your mid,
20s.
yeah,
Yeah, mid-20s, I was really focused
Mid
on
to
trying
late.
to be an
to
entrepreneur.
late.
Late.
Yeah, I was really trying to
now.
focus. I was really, yeah. Oh, but the thing is, I know my time is coming, so I don't
No,
need
for
to.
sure.
But
you don't need
in
to
a-
push it though. You don't need to force it.
100%. I feel like for me, it was more about. I was actually getting to the point that I was so annoyed with my job that I was actually looking for ways to leave my job so I could try
Focus on the grind.
Yeah, focus on the grind and.
But what is the grind?
man.
You don't know. You just want to be an
I
entrepreneur.
just wanted to be there and make
I
those.
just put
but-
myself in a space where I could think about it.
But no. But this is what I'm saying, because I was saying to myself, I want to be I want to be financially successful.
Yeah.
And this goes to my money point that I was talking about. I want to be so financially successful that the way for me to get there is to be an entrepreneur and make a certain type of money so that I can be financially free.
And there's nothing wrong with you wanting
At
that
all.
for yourself.
100%. But that's not the only way.
Yeah.
And it's not the peak. Like that part is important to me, because when people say, look, and I think I've said this before in one of our earlier DBTH episodes, I don't want to be a CEO, right? If I end up as a CEO, if that's what God wants for me, no probs, happy to take on. But as far as like, I want to be a CEO, do I want to lead something? Sure.
Yeah.
But I am, let's say, because I technically don't work there anymore, but let's say I'm in Barclays, yeah? Cool. I'm in Barclays. I'm currently an AVP. Next step is to become a VP, then a director, then a da-da-da-da-da.
That own the
I remember
company.
when I felt, right, this idea of me wanting to do that, there is no crime if I decided to say to myself, do you know what, actually, I made this director. I'm on 6 figures. God is good.
Yeah, cool.
Let me chill here.
Yeah, calm.
I remember there being a conversation where it was like, you are failing yourself if you are not trying to eventually get to the biggest and baddest goal, which is to be an entrepreneur where you're working for yourself and da-da-da-da. That's not the peak of success. It's not. If that's what you want for yourself, more life, wish you the best, great. And to be honest, even as I'm saying I don't want to be a CEO, I do eventually see myself having my own business and working for myself in some capacity. Don't know what that is. But as far as that being the peak of success, it absolutely is not. As far as having multiple streams of income, is it good? Does it put you in a great position? Absolutely. But that does not mean that me, that is a director on 6 figures, I still got a long way to go if I want to be happy. Successful is subjective. It is personal.
Yeah, it's very subjective.
And it begins and ends with where you want it to.
Yeah.
So that's my point.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Is it? Is it fair?
No, I respect that. Honestly,
No,
I go on.
No. I respect it. There's certain things I don't agree with, but
it's not for you to agree or disagree. That's the thing. If that's the person's truth, that's their truth.
This term is another one. My truth.
But it is.
What is your truth? Because there's only one truth.
Look, I can't speak for what I want in my life. But if somebody decided that they wanted one income, I was speaking to somebody, shout out my girl Wick, and she said she's got a great job now. She's like essentially a director in her own right. That's her one job, and she does not want a second job. She does not want a second source of income. This is what she's got, and she's very happy with what she got. She does not want more than this.
Okay, but this is where things are very subjective because let's say someone else that's in her situation. Yeah. We're saying that she's got a good job. And this is just a scenario that I'm putting out. Yeah. But they're complaining, I'm not making enough money, and this, and this. You have to do something else or create something else to make more money.
You are creating something that didn't exist. Nobody said that they were complaining about their life.
There's an economic crisis.
The whole point is that they are satisfied with the way that they're living.
I'm trying to be forward thinking.
And what you've just done is making my point.
Yeah, that's
what being forward thinking.
No, not forward thinking, because nobody told you that's not. Nobody told you.
Doing better.
Yeah, nobody told you that that's what she thought. She was happy. You told her that she is complaining.
I didn't tell her.
You said because of the way the market is, you are not doing good enough.
Imagine someone in her position. She said she's complaining. She never complained.
No, but what I was saying.
Specifically said she was happy with
No, but what I said is that I didn't use her. I put someone else in that scenario, and I said if they were complaining.
But this is the thing.
So I didn't say her.
But you can't. Why? What was the point of you saying that then?
Just to say that point still stands in a certain scenario in another metaverse.
Exactly this is my point.
Anyway, let's go on to life quickly.
Okay.
Yep, we're gonna do one each because time is ticking.
One.
The one I'm going to do is it's not okay to be depressed or anxious. There's an expectation that, or should I say, an expectation that came from our parents that there was no such thing as being depressed or anxious.
Okay.
And this is something that we have all clearly seen in the past 2 years. Yeah, that there is such thing as being depressed and there is such thing as being anxious. So I think that stigma or that idea of you can't be depressed or you can't be anxious needs to really be thrown out the window real quick.
I feel like thank God that is number one. Before I get to thank God, because that's something that has really been brought to light over the past few years as something which is not okay to be dismissing people for being
100%
depressed or anxious. But at the same time, I thank God because it's one of those ones where it's like now people understand that is something which you shouldn't have to do. So it's no more like our parents' time where it's like, oh, why are you depressed? Pray against it.
There's no such thing as being depressed.
No such thing as being depressed. That's not a thing anymore. And I thank God that's no longer a thing because a lot of people went through it over the past few years recently, especially within our age. So ultimately, I'm going to say to that one is that I don't think it's much of an issue anymore to be someone that is hiding in your depression, hiding in your anxiety, because it's now a thing where people understand that that's a normal thing. So I wouldn't say it's one of the top ones anymore in terms of life, but it's one that always needs to be reiterated.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, you'll be very surprised, especially for and obviously everyone goes through depression and anxiety, but I'm talking about when it comes to men as well, that a lot of people expect men to not be depressed or not be anxious because they're supposed to be hard. Yeah. They're supposed to get through it. That's why you're a man. You need to be able to do this. You need to be able to do that. Yeah. And that you'll be very surprised.
I think you're right. It's been highlighted, but as far as it being normalized, especially in like, for example, corporate, do you think you could ever comfortably tell your manager, do you know what, I'm just not having a good day today, I need to take a mental health day?
I've done it before. I've done it before.
Oh, yeah, you have. I haven't.
Yeah, I've done it before.
I don't think
How comfortable did you feel when you made that call?
Oh, I wasn't comfortable with it, but I had to make that call because only God knows what would have happened.
Thankfully, you were in a space where, and you had management where there wasn't much of a thing around that.
That management was not great.
But as far as them like accepting you saying, look, I'm having, this is the issue that I'm having. But generally speaking, like, I think generally as a woman, as far as me having to man up or toughen up, I don't really have that on me. So I can kind of, I guess, lean into that weakness per se, or how they choose to see it, and it wouldn't necessarily be a problem for me to say, look, I'm not having a good day today and whatever. But not everybody has the ability. A lot of people don't have the ability to say, I'm openly struggling mentally, I need a break, I need this, I need XYZ, even though people know that depression and anxiety is a thing. So I hear it. I do hear it.
Like even like people like Andrew Tate and all those people, they don't make things easy at all. They really don't.
Yeah, I'm just don't even want to hear that nigga's name.
Because what I'm trying to say is that they are people that are enforcing the fact that, look, if you're depressed, there's no such thing as you being depressed. You need to be able to go to the gym, and you need to be able to do this and that. That's the type of stuff.
Social media is a scary place.
So you can understand why that's BS.
Yeah, man.
Can I give my one, because it's quite? I guess it's in relation. My one is that the unrealistic expectation is that everybody should go to therapy.
Yeah.
I don't believe that therapy is necessary for everyone. I do 100%. Not believe it's necessary to unpack everything.
I agree, man. Some people just need to go and fart.
Pass
that with to keep it moving.
I personally believe, as someone that's done therapy before, that's not for the faint-hearted
at all.
To do therapy, to engage in therapy, means to unpack a lot of things, and
you're not ready for that.
You're unpacking at your
let me even give you guys an example. Yeah, there was one time, and it was during lockdown. I was going through it, and and then the person I was speaking to, obviously we went deep. And then they went, let's go. And they were like, go for a walk. Mate, how can I be walking down Drake Road, And I was just crying. Like, what the heck? I was looking at myself, I was like, damn, But
this is the thing, Therapy will do that every week, and you have to pay somebody. So on top of that, like, you're having this really, really intimate, deep, dark conversation with somebody. Once you hit your 50 minutes, and say, sorry to stop you. We're done now. And
the money's run out.
To me, there are like, therapy is something that like certain people who I just cannot respect. Charlemagne, number one. I hope you find therapy, man. I hope you do what you need to do to heal yourself. Bless yourself. And I am all for self-healing, and I'm all for, becoming a better you every day. Sometimes getting to the cocoa of the gist, getting to the root of the problem is not necessary. Sometimes unpacking, making sense of things is not necessary. Sometimes you feel pain because you feel pain. You forgive yourself quickly and get over it so that you don't stew. And I personally feel like, not that I am, going against or bashing therapy, because there is a time and a place where it is the only thing that you need.
Of course.
But therapy should not be the be-all, end-all answer. That paracetamol that covers all headache, heartache, pain, everything. Exactly, because it's become this general purpose response to things that actually don't require it. And I feel like that does more damage than good. For me, at the time when I received therapy, so I've been therapy a couple times, but the first time that I received it, fine, it made sense. The second time that I received it, it definitely didn't make sense. And the counselor that I had was a white woman. Okay. And that also does play a part, because there are things that you want to talk about
that you can't really talk about.
No, you will talk about them.
They won't understand.
But they'll ask you questions like, for example, if I'm talking about something that relates to microaggressions or that only really a black person would understand, and you're telling me, well, why don't you just pick it up and try again? Are you sick? You don't understand. You don't get it. Therefore, that's my point.
Can I say what I equate therapy to?
What?
The get out teacup moment.
Okay.
Every single therapy session is that get out teacup moment because you're sinking into yourself.
It
For
does.
real.
It does
It's
do good work though,
Ultimately,
Toby.
no. The reason why I say that, is because you're not ready for that. And really and truly, not everyone needs to go through therapy because
Not everybody needs therapy. Yeah.
How deep it gets. Like sometimes I read deep and I feel like you can actually just have, I don't know, a conversation with yourself. You can pray over it. You can speak to one of your friends.
There's so many other things.
There's so many other
There are
things.
so many other responses.
But
it doesn't always have to
the
be trauma.
Charlemagne idea of go to therapy.
Do you think that has impacted a lot of people in the sense that they don't know how to handle situations because there's this narrative that you always have to go for therapy or you have to go to someone for you to overcome something?
I don't want to give a blanket statement like that. I don't want to give a blanket statement, but is that a pattern that I've noticed? Yes. I've noticed a pattern where in some cases it's easier to say, child, let me just book therapy because you're not necessarily going to get the answer that you're looking for. Actually, you might find something that's deeper than something else that will bring back something you didn't even remember that happened when you were 5 years old.
Now panic
and now
attack.
you're crying every week, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes, I need to be careful how I say this. Sometimes it is not about finding a reason to why you are the way you are. Sometimes it's about accepting that things have happened, finding a way to forgive yourself and cracking on with life.
Yeah.
When you sit down and work out, for example, I'm insecure. Why are you insecure? Because that time when you were 3 years old, up until you were 10 years old, someone said that you were ugly every day and da 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 da.
Now you're reliving
and then
that
sometimes you can focus more on the fact that you are a victim. Oh, I need to be careful. Basically what I'm trying to say, right, is that sometimes therapy, depending on when you are supposed to go, whether it's the right thing for you to do or not, it's very easy to go one way or the other. And me personally speaking, on my own experiences, there were times where therapy gave me the ammo I needed to pity myself more than wanting to fix the problem.
Yeah. Okay.
It gives an answer to why you are the way you are, why you do the things you do. And if you've got an amazing therapist, they can give you great actions to unlearn that and uncover that and recover and improve. And that's great. And that's what all therapists should be doing. But in some cases, if you don't give it what you need to give it, and if it's not the right time and when you receive it, it's not necessarily the best thing for you.
So it makes you look back instead of you looking forward.
Essentially, it does different things for different people, but there is the danger that there's more focus on why it went wrong versus how to make it right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You got there.
Woo!
That was a rickety bridge.
You got there. You know when you're playing snakes and ladder, you go up the ladder, then you go up the snake, and the snake brings you back down to the bottom.
Down to 3.
Damn.
Nah.
I saw you go up there and then you're like, let me go back down.
Remember Takeshi's Castle, where they had the
doors.
Yeah, and if you go through one, there's the guy there gonna put black paint. So you realize you're gonna back out, try the next door. That was me.
I thought you was talking about the boulder when you go up the boulder and then you have to hide in that crevice there where the boulder's coming down. And then the boulder knocks you down. You go down to the bottom.
What was your favorite Takeshi's Castle challenge?
It has to be the end.
I hated that one.
I never watched anyone.
No one ever won.
I saw someone.
I've never seen anyone get through it, ever. Nah,
just done out that rice paper. It's not right.
Was either the mirror one because you know they always get chucked out and jump in the water.
Yeah.
The maze one where they walk through when they're running through the doors.
Yeah. It's either that one or
one of my favorites is the one where they have to walk over the pond.
Yeah.
And some of the boulders are dropped. You just go, no. But they would damage themselves with that one.
Man.
Yeah,
What's another one?
That was those are definitely my favorite.
I need to go and watch Takeshi's Castle.
I might have to
They were supposed to bring it back.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm glad they didn't.
That was a great show.
I'm glad they didn't.
No, that was a great show.
Sometimes you just need low quality TV. Do you know what I mean?
And we need it in this day and age.
They're trying to spruce up. Anyway, guys, I think that brings us to the end
Tobi,
of...
have you got one?
No.
Oh, sorry.
That's it.
No, it's cool.
You just skipped Tobi.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You don't have one for life?
Yeah, I've got one. Don't worry. Let me say
Well,
one.
let me see what I got. Shit.
Let me see one more.
Fair.
Yeah, we're about to touch 2 hours and 30.
What? Let's get out of it. They're
The
gonna
last
find
one
us.
is it's too late to do anything new when you're in your 30s. There are a lot of
Man
people.
said
That
30s.
is not too late to do anything new when you're in your 30s. or the idea of people saying
It's too late when you're at your phase.
Read that one. Essentially the same thing.
Basically.
Expecting us to have things figured out by 30. Times have changed and ages have blurred.
Yep.
Amen.
And in your 20s, you're supposed to figure everything out so you can capitalize in your phase. Nigga, I was just born.
Or you should struggle between your 20s
I just arrived.
and then in your 30s, you just live life.
They didn't put the caveat that there would be a cozzie lives, COVID, a recession, and all sorts in the midst.
And the Queen died.
I beg, and the Queen died.
And there'll be a prime minister that was only prime minister for a week.
And the Queen
we
died.
had 7 prime ministers in the space of 3 days.
And the pound dropped overnight.
Yup.
Because of
Silicon
Brexit.
Valley
The
Bank.
pound is
Brexit.
equivalent to the dollar.
You got a vendetta against them.
All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happens.
Lots of things, man. Bare
This
circumstances.
you have to have built in your 20s to live life in your 30s. Yeah, shat it, blood.
Share to you, bleed.
100%.
All
I'm not
right,
gonna lie,
guys.
we've gone for a lot.
Hey.
Damn, in the last 3 years?
No, it's
3
not a
years.
joke. Man said 3 years.
Decade.
The last
No,
10 years.
No, it's the last
Decade,
3 years.
Michael.
It's
No,
the last-
the
Decade.
last 10 years. Think
Decade.
about it.
When did the referendum start? About-
2018, 2019, maybe.
So the last 5 years.
Bro, it's been bad. It's been bad for a long time.
No.
It
You
was
can't.
back
No.
before that.
No. From the
NHS
time.
going to pot because
No.
he lives.
From the referendum time,
Yeah.
it was.
It was hellbound.
Yeah.
It's because of the pound specifically. Because you remember that time when the pound dropped? I was supposed
Because
to go
of the
to
referendum.
I went to Barcelona that
Oh,
year.
yeah, it was 1-1.
I went to Barcelona that year, and a month before I went to Barcelona, one of my friends, shout out Javid, said that we should change our money. And I was like, no, I'll just do it next week. Brexit was next week. As soon as Brexit happened,
That's what I'm saying. So from 2000,
that
2018.
£1 to €2 yeah, went down to 1 pound
2000
20. I said no.
2017 to 2018, I think, was definitely worse than 2018 when the market crashed.
Listen, let's not forget, that 2013 or 2012 was the year that university fees went up from 3K to 9K. We have been suffering from day
It's
dot.
been creeping.
And best remember that in 2008, 2007 to 2008, there was a recession then.
EMA
and people were
dropped.
just recovering.
Yeah, come on, mate. Come on.
And then boogoo.
All my life I had to fight.
Yeah,
What's going on? Anyway.
God forbid.
Yeah, indeed. That brings us to the end of episode 125.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't fine us
they
for
gonna fine
spending
us.
over the time. Guys, we really enjoyed this conversation. We clearly
Yeah,
had a lot
bloods.
to say. Let us know what you think in the comments. We appreciate you, man, for writing in the YouTube comments. We do see you. And actually, a big shout out to, I can't remember who it was, but someone said, throwing your ass in circles
Oh,
for
yeah, I
offspring
saw
is
that.
crazy. And it is. Appreciate you, Edmund, for showing love every time. Really, really appreciate you, man, for commenting and interacting with us, letting us know that you are feeling our episodes. We appreciate y'all always. If you made it all the way here, you are a very, very, very real one. Appreciate you. Okay, where can you find us? I hear you ask. We must know. Right. Well, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or by searching Hype and Then Some. You can find us on YouTube by searching Hype and Then Some, and you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Soundcloud, and
That's it, boy.
that's it. By searching Hype and Then Some. MET, do we have any other business?
Guys, this is episode 125. We're hyping then some, and we're out.
Peace.